The one thing we don't do on Thursday Night Throwdown is screw around.
No, we don't.
By the way, have you guys seen Toxic Man Flu naked in the shower? It's like really disgusting. Like somebody vomited in a blender and like set it to extra chunky. It's really gross. Like every time I see him, I want to shave my eyeballs with a razor. We are literally the same height.
No, I'm definitely taller, Comix.
We got your back, Comix. You okay back there, Nick? Brahmabull to TNT command. Target is live. That's a confirmed hit. Target is down.
Oh, I get the helicopter because I'm the fat kid. That's bull. You, Kurtzman!
I don't have any hands and feet, Comix. I can't fly a plane.
You are a little bit retarded.
It's Thursday Night Throwdown!
Only a little bit?
Only
Only a little bit. I totally fucking boomered Rumble.
Well, hi, Rumble.
Uh-oh.
Yep, I gotta fix that real quick.
All right.
We're having trouble streaming your destination.
Yep, pretty much.
Hello.
Hey, look, it's Mark the Cyborg. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Mark.
Welcome,
Look
Mark.
at that.
Hey, Mark,
Mark,
say,
all my puppies. Otherwise, I would have puppies.
say something incredibly Canadian.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that there, eh?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I don't.
Oh
mean
no,
for him
don't
to
know about
ask.
that, eh? Okay, Rumble seems to be
Maple
working.
syrup.
Good.
Syrup.
Yeah.
It's aggressive.
Say Quebecers.
Quebecers.
Becker Stanny.
Mother Canuckers.
Yeah. How about
Vancouver.
Newfies? Does anybody know what a Newfie is? And I'm not talking about a Bill Cosby
Roofies?
drink. Yeah, I'm not,
Okay.
talking about not
Culture.
talking about a Bill Cosby drink. I'm talking about from Newfoundland. Newfoundland?
Yeah, Newfoundland.
New-
Is that a correct?
Uh-huh.
Good for you. Say Toronto.
What's happening?
Toronto?
No, incorrect.
Toronto?
Toronto?
Pretty close. Closer. You don't pronounce the second T. You can say
Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto?
Toronto.
Toronto.
Because
Torino.
people,
Yeah, I feel like
from
that's
Toronto won't say Toronto because that's not really the accent.
you say Toronto. I say Toronto.
You
Just
don't
call it
pronounce
North
the last-
Buffalo.
It's really
Yeah,
Not wrong.
North Manhattan. Like it's,
I-
Yeah, that's right.
it's Manhattan in every movie that's ever been made in your country.
well,
right.
hey, I mean,
Shoot it
yeah,
up here because it's cheaper.
it's wannabe Hollywood. That's what it is.
I mean,
It's
mean,
cheaper, and you only have to deal with the acid rain. So,
Yeah.
What? Gas? What?
not Asperger's, acid rain.
Oh,
we
Yeah.
prefer to call it spicy rain up here.
Spicy rain?
icy rain.
Is that what it is?
Spicy
Spicy rain?
Spicy rain.
That
Spicy
sounds like a
rain.
stripper. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Spicy Rain.
I can see it's gonna be one of those streams again, isn't it?
What's
I
happening?
guess Mark
I
keeps doing things with his camera.
No, my
wow,
that was my mouse messing up.
that's a nice leather couch.
I
Yeah.
was only trying to shift over like one
Mark's-
slot.
Mark's
I
really-
had a nice leather couch till my cats ruined it by scratching the shit out of it.
Yeah, see, dogs are better.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
I will agree with you, but Tox will get mad at me.
Huh? No, I like cats. I don't like. Well, I like dogs, but I've
I
had
like-
them, rescued them, and all that kind of stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding. All in.
We've kind of, I wouldn't say adopted a new cat. We have a cat that adopted us. It's an outdoor cat. Our
Okay.
crazy neighbor, who is
I've heard-
thankfully gone because she's kind of this crazy hoarder, and that also included animals.
oh boy.
And yeah, so when she moved out, she left like 3 or 4 cats behind.
Oh no.
Yeah, and
Free
there's
friends.
there's a black and white one, yeah, that hangs out in our yard now because we feed it, and it's basically adopted us. So we start calling it Oreo because it's black and white. So
That's a little racist.
Lucky.
well, it's black and white. It's he's kind of like patchwork, colors of black and white. But the funny thing is that his nose is black, so start jokingly calling him Hitler Cat.
How's that better?
It's not. It's funny.
Yeah.
How many
Must be
lives?
going
does
for
he have?
better.
9.
999. Well, there's like back in the day when the internet was funny, there was like a website dedicated to Hitler cats because of like the little Hitler mustache. It was fucking funny.
Wow.
Back when the internet had a sense of humor.
I mean, also
Back
like
then.
the cat doesn't know. Like it's
Yeah.
not the cat's fault.
Yeah.
You
Cat's
can't
like, I
make
was
the
born
argument
this
that cat
way.
is intentionally making that choice.
I was born a Hitler cat. Come on.
Yeah. Cat's like, I was born this way. Now get back in the camp.
Whoa, hey now.
Wow.
But
But yeah,
anyways,
it was pretty funny because you know, they do funny things with the cats, and the fact that they had the little black nose or the little black area underneath the nose or whatnot. But yeah, this cat's pretty cute. You know, and he's a sweetheart, and it just sucks that, you know, this previous owner was mistreating him by dumping him in our neighborhood. So
That's the parts you hate to see. We used to rescue Shar-Peis that were overbred. It's very easy to overbreed a Shar-Pei. So we would get the ones that would be like, look more like a bulldog, a little short, small bulldog. And they had huge hip problems, those.
Oh,
and yeah, the ones that look more like greyhounds. And so I had a couple of those. I'm like, oh, you know, I'll do Shar-Peis. They don't have a long hair coat, all that stuff. It'll be fine. So I get the first set, bring them in the house. And then about 3 months, hair everywhere, a little bit of short hairs. So I finally should have read up on it. They blow their coat 3 times a year. So yeah, so just little spiky hairs everywhere.
So J.S. Pena is paying Culture a compliment, saying,
What?
Culture Casino looks like Karl Marx.
Wow.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's also
And
muted.
muted culture.
I said I'm not sure that's a compliment, but thanks.
Well,
maybe
I mean,
we should get Culture in like a suit and that kind of stuff. Have him sit down and say stupid stuff like Karl Marx did.
I say, yeah, I could imitate Brahma, no problem.
Oh. Wow. Where's that?
Ow. Ow.
There we go.
Is Tom getting ready to perform a musical number for us?
I got a little one ready if you want one.
Is it Culture
Set the
Casino's
show.
Karl Marx?
Kami Casino.
No.
Kami Casino.
Tommy Casino.
Needs to be louder.
You told him to turn it down before the show.
I did not.
I know. Like, what am I supposed to do here? Loud, quiet, soft?
No, you're fine. It's fine.
We'll be quiet.
Well, Disney had a movie sitting on a shelf. They didn't even want to release it themselves. I don't know about you, but it seems pretty sus. They didn't even want to release it on Disney Plus. Oh, but how's this for a twist? Oh, how dumb they must feel, real dumb. Indy can't catch a break at the box office. Disney falling down, that's the sound of freedom. Yeah, Jesus saving kids, doing God's work. Who could be against that? Hell, only a jerk. Like Jezebel or the Guardian crying QAnon. All the while, India's one big bomb.
Nice.
Oh, how's that for a twist? Oh, but now they must feel real dumb. Indy can't catch a break at the box office. Disney falling down, that's the sound of freedom.
Yeah, all right.
Is the Guardian complaining about this movie too?
Yes, they are.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That was nice.
It's
Jezebel
funny.
the Guardian.
Oh god,
my
that Jezebel article. We'll cover that in a bit. It's pretty funny, Mark.
Yeah.
So apparently, I love how at the very beginning they have to give a disclaimer about how talking about child trafficking is bad, because God forbid, them criticizing this movie kind of does make them sound like pedos. So they had to have a nice little disclaimer up front.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little
Well,
bit.
they sound like they're interested in cartography. They like maps. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's funny because the criticism comes from the fact that normally you think that they would be all over things like this. You know, trafficking is bad, slavery is bad, all these things that you think would be hitting
used to be the kind of movie they made to make Oscars or to get Oscars.
Yeah.
Right?
But no, they're complaining about it because it's made by the wrong people. So there you go. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Who are the right people?
Not them. not people on the far left.
Not the people trying to change your children or coming after your kids or however you want to put it. Yeah.
Well, apparently, I guess they got mad because the main character or the guy in real life
Tim Ballard
was against the trans ideology because he believes that if you normalize it with kids, it will lead to pedophilia and just that. Well, age is a spectrum kind of thing, like gender is a spectrum, and so he called that out, and so the Jezebel was going after him because of that comment. And again, this has absolutely nothing to do with the movie, by the way. So, or the merits thereof, or the lack thereof, or as the case may be when it comes to films. So they're basically attacking the people that it was based off of, along with some of the people who made it, rather than just the merits of the fucking film.
Yeah, because they have no arguments against it, nor the fact that it was based on a true story.
Yeah,
and that the series of events that happen in the film happened, just not exactly as dramatized as we.
Well, that's typically how it works with a movie, right?
Well,
and
then just the idea of them trying to argue that this is some conspiracy theory in some way, even if in some remote case, like no, human trafficking is pretty obviously one of the biggest problems we have in the world.
Yeah,
right, and that's what this movie is shining a light on.
And they're calling, and Tom, it's worse that because they're calling multiple NGOs that I pay attention to and follow. They're calling these organizations that are, isolating these groups, pointing out human trafficking and slavery and all these other things. They're going about pointing these out. They're actually calling all those organizations and their efforts liars, and that they aren't actually helping people, which really frustrates me.
Well, and I think the first part is, I mean, they could easily go after the religious or Christian factor, but from what everybody I've been told, I want to go see this movie. So full disclosure, I haven't seen it yet, but of the few people I've talked to that have seen it, they all say the same thing. There's very minimal to no Christian or religious element.
No, there's nothing in it at all.
Clearly the Angel Studios is using the one line to sell this movie which is fine, because as I've said before, that's one of the reasons this movie is doing so well, is this Angel Studios and these religious films, they know how to plug right into this community, right? And they have this network that's how you have a movie like this where nobody heard about it last week and all of a sudden we're all talking about it right now.
Right.
That's how that happens. And just in a matter of days, I start hearing about this movie and now we're all talking about it. And the fact that it took 5 years to get here is kind of the bigger part of the conversation, if you ask me, because like what was wrong with this movie, or the reaction that people are having to it? Why did Disney sit on it for so long? Because I mean, it's not like they tried to stifle it per se, because when the producers came to buy it, they were all open arms for whatever money they probably could take for this money that came as part of this.
Yeah, why would they not self-publish it? I wonder.
And that's the thing. I mean, Disney wanted no part of this, which blows my mind, right, Tom? I mean, they've been sitting on this since they acquired Fox.
Well, I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the fact that the guy, I'm blanking on his name, Tim. This is his name. I can't remember his last name.
Tim Ballard.
Ballard. Okay, Tim Ballard basically spoke out against trans and kids, which is the reason why I think that they basically said, we're not going to touch it because of, the ideological stuff that they're pushing. That's probably the reason they didn't want to get any pushback from it.
Well, I think you guys brought this up back in the day, and it probably would have been one of the earlier parts of the programs I would have been a part of, because I remember somebody talking about this. The Biden administration in 2020 or whatever it was, I think it was, that shut down this organization that Trump started.
Yeah,
right. Because that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Well, it ended in 2000. Remember, he didn't take office until 2001. But he was also, Tim Ballard was also very critical of Biden's border policy. And he basically said it kind of contributes to the human trafficking aspect of it. So
if you watch this film and you watch it to the very end and radioactive,
you do see the the actual footage of the raid that happens in the film.
Bring up that super because we need to honor.
I was going to because he mentions it. So Reactive for $5 says the Sounds of Freedom end credits actually shows real video footage of the raid depicted in the film. Yeah,
true. Yeah. The exact sting operation that they constructed with private money, by the way, because our federal government's just a bunch of corrupt individuals. I'll be nice. When it comes to things like this, and Pinochet is probably going to come in here and roll in with some hardcore commentary, which he deserves to.
You mean like he just did with the super chat?
Just did.
There's some powder that they found at the White House.
We'll get into that fun shit, I'm sure.
I don't know about that.
But I'd like to.
I think it was just candy.
I think that's something we can talk about on Monday for sure.
On Monday.
Yeah, but look,
like as far as this goes, go ahead, Culture.
No, please, Tom, go. You were on a roll.
No, I just, I mean, obviously they're not going to release a movie like this, regardless if they sold it. Of course, they're willing to sell it because then they can say, well, of course we didn't keep it down, but we didn't release it for 5 fucking years. Is because who are the people who can afford to buy people? Let's be real here.
People with money.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna go with that.
Yep.
Yeah, go figure. Okay, so overall, I'm not gonna. Let's not spoil the movie for people. I think it's worth seeing.
It is.
For me, I would say it's a pretty middle of the road drama thriller. I enjoyed it. It's a difficult movie to watch. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
There are definitely parts of it where it's difficult. It's not a fun movie, right?
I in my review, I said exactly that. I said it's incredibly powerful. It's a powerful movie.
I'm not expecting like a popcorn flick either. That's all.
No.
But look, there's no way you can walk out of this film without feeling a lot of emotions. Not one, not two, but a lot. And I'd say that in the review that I've got coming out tomorrow. And I try not to spoil the film, but because it's based on a true story and because at the very end of the film, you got to stick around for the credits. First of all, because all you have to do is wait 2 minutes and there's a special message that's delivered by Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, I know that was there. I left before the message.
Yeah. I think the message is
that's like with any film at this point. Once the credits start, I'd just fucking leave.
But just for what Culture's saying, I think that same message plays on a couple of the trailers.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But it's funny because there was actually quite a bit of people that were in my theater that clapped. It was not a packed theater, but there was definitely more people in my theater than normally at 3:30 for a 3:30 screening. So there's that.
Well, go ahead, Brahma.
On Film Threat yesterday, Gore said that him and Paulie, just broke down crying at the end of the movie, and you could hear some sobbing throughout the theater more than clapping.
Yeah.
So
and
people.
And in my theater, there's clapping at the end.
Well, there's definitely parts that. Sorry, Culture. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. I was
going to say there's definitely parts of the film that's going to make you want to fucking cry. That's for sure.
The trailer got to me. I haven't seen it yet. I want to.
It's tough, dude.
And more or less just to see, just so I can talk about it with people. And the whole idea is that I'm kind of convinced that this might be the movie. And I've been talking to Andre about this. We've been doing these ESG videos for a while. Yeah. And I pointed out to him that there's a parallel between things that were going on at the end of the 60s, moving into the 70s that we're seeing here the same way. The only big difference is this is a manufactured thing. None of this shit's real. We already know we've been past this stuff already in the 70s and 90s and stuff like that. Point being, I said the big difference then compared to now is they had Dirty Harry and Death Wish, which showed the world that majority of the country is not with this, let's be lenient on crime bullshit. Right, because that was kind of the main focal point then as far as like what it all boiled down to. Now it's about the children. And that's where I said maybe this is that movie that sets this off. Because what is going on here mainly is, Disney has turned away, or people have turned away from Disney for the main reason being they're after your fucking kids.
Yeah, that's
right.
Apparent.
And that's one thing we all know is it doesn't matter what religion you are, what political background you have. If you're a parent or even an uncle or aunt or what have you, or somebody who's close with somebody with kids, I can even understand you feeling that strongly about a situation like this. You cross that line. You fuck with kids, people will fuck with you.
Yeah.
Right. Like that is the one place where you can get a bunch of people together and go, now wait a minute here. Right. Like we may agree on this or that or the other, but one thing we do agree on is leave the goddamn kids alone. right?
Yeah.
And kids need to be safe. And this movie is a message that and it's true, not enough people talk about this on a daily basis, or at least do enough about it. And that's what kind of the whole point of the movie is from my understanding. And again, I'm not trying to speak from any kind of authority. I mean, comics and culture, you guys have seen it. You can tell me if I'm wrong here, but the basis of the story is, without giving too much away, this guy's a cop. You know, he's been working for years busting all these pedophiles and crap. But then one day, this guy comes to him, or this organization comes to him and says, well, how many kids have you actually saved? So that sticks with him, and he quits his job to work
Well,
with
it's
these
not
guys.
an organization. It's his partner that says it.
Okay, it's his partner. Okay, that's
yeah.
I just couldn't tell from the way, because it looks like they're a group or whatever from the trailer. But anyhow,
Well, there
so
is kind of a
the
group,
setup,
but that's completely separate.
Okay, so that's kind of the whole setup of the story, but then it's a whole, that look at how they went in and obviously broke up this ring, and the idea of it behind it is that this is just one of many stories that are,
thousands, hundreds of millions. It's hard to say. I mean, you're talking about an industry. If you stay through the credits comics, you'd have found out that the industry in the United States. I'm just teasing you, by the way. The industry, I know. And again, I've reported.
I'm always the first to leave the theater at this point. I just don't stick around for credits,
and that's understandable. Again, but
bladder
credit scene like right before I leave.
Yeah, but this is an industry that is earning 150.
Well, they fucking say it in the movie, dude. I don't need to stick around to the end to have him repeat it. I mean, there's actually a part where, he actually talks about how it's a fucking leading industry.
Yeah.
When he's talking about child trafficking, I mean, that was in the movie.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's $150 billion industry, and it's out there, and it's more prevalent than it's ever been. And if you look at any of the NGO statistics, which I do regular, in fact, I've done multiple videos of this on my channel early on, which probably is, largely to blame for a little bit of stunted growth. But it's the fact that, you have more people that are, doing forced things now than ever in human history.
Yeah. Well, that was also at the end of the film too, when they were leading into showing the footage. So, I mean, that wasn't part of the credits yet, but that part was actually said before the credits played.
True story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, overall, Tox, did you see it? By the way,
no.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Oh, he's muted. Oh, Jason has like 18 mute buttons.
Yeah, he does.
And
he's got Phoebe Waller-Bridge on 45 monitors as his background.
He does.
Yeah.
He can control NORAD right now, but he just can't find the
he can run NORAD. He just can't run his,
He just can't.
Goddamn button.
It's this button. There he is. There he is.
I don't know why it keeps switching.
I will see the film, but I have experience in this area, and it's a little bit hard for me to watch these. So it's not something I want to see in public.
It's rough.
So I'm going to wait until it gets out and does some stuff from there.
Rough.
But Jim Caviezel is a phenomenal actor. He was really good in Passion of the Christ. He's been really good in just about anything he's been in. And the television show that he had for the longest time, what was that called?
Person of Interest.
Person of Interest. What a great show.
Well, the grassroots nature of this is something I really, really love, right? And the fact that it's actually working, because, again, I brought up a little bit about the network and how it works, but this company that actually runs it, they also have this situation where if you're somebody who can't afford to go see the movie, they will actually give
the
you
pay
a
it
free
forward
ticket.
thing. Yeah.
They have the pay it forward program, which I think is brilliant, and I think they should actually come up with a way to do that for kids in the summertime, and so kids can have stuff to do and stuff like that, because that's one thing that I like compared to seeing like Disney, basically pressure these other groups into buying tickets for them, for like Captain Marvel and Black Panther and whatnot. Like
tickets
we
for
caught them doing,
kids.
basically. Tickets for Kids would be a great organization to start. Yeah, I mean, set it up to where it's enough you can donate for a ticket and maybe a part of a pizza or something like that.
Little QR code, whatever.
I would say, was it Bill Champ? Man, he fucking killed it in this movie.
Everybody, like one of my favorite Latino actors was in this film as the father of the two children. Holy
he was
cow.
Good. But he delivers this great speech, which I'm not going to go into detail on because I want people to see it.
Gotta see the movie.
On why he started saving kids.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, oh my God. That was fucking great scene.
Look, going into this, you want to go in blind because it's even more powerful then. But you know, Daniel Cavan actually uses something from the film, maybe not knowing it, but Caviezel during the course of things talks about a millstone with the person that actually launches this thing into orbit. So you guys are going to have to watch the film to understand what that reference is, but it is tied to a Bible quote. But there, like I said, there are some religious elements to this, but it's in no way obvious. It's not overpowered.
It's not in your face from what I've
yeah,
read.
No.
I mean,
I wouldn't consider it to be in your face.
I mean, and again, is it so bad that people with, some kind of moral base are actually, going out and doing things that are good in the world?
I'm actually surprised nowadays when I hear somebody actually mention God in a film or TV show. Like surprised because, it's not, it's not done anymore, right?
Well, I do it on purpose.
Yeah, I know. But it's like I've been watching, was it 1883 and then 1923, where God does get mentioned, on occasion and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, Tyler Sheridan's a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised it isn't more because back then people were a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, they have a lot more religious. Yeah.
Yeah, for lack of a better way of putting it. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it doesn't matter whether
they did a lot more churching back
whether people religious or not. I think they just found a good movie. Some people fought to get it released, and it just happened to be, that they're religious based. But it just shows you can do good stuff. It doesn't matter, and come from and things from there.
Well, there's organizations that do this. They've found that they don't like force it down people's throats.
No,
right? Like they don't go out of their way to try to advertise to people that they don't think is going to be interested. It's all done through the churches, through the religious radio channels, and all their networks.
There was like I said, there was a lot of people in my theater, so I was pretty impressed. And I was showing these guys.
Bought out a showing of it Friday for downtown here.
Yeah, I was showing these guys yesterday, like the other screenings that were later, and they were completely packed. I mean, they weren't sold out completely, but you're talking like 90% of the theater at that point, which is granted, it wasn't a very big theater, but it is one of the comfy theaters where you had the recliners and whatnot. So.
Well, the thing is, and I think this is something cultural get giddy about bringing up, is the fact that they're doing, more than Indiana Jones. At this point, I believe it was almost nearly 5 million. Was it 5 million or 4 million more than Indiana Jones on the 4th of July?
Yeah, I think it was 4 million. 4 million because they did 14.
It was 15 to 11 or something like that.
Okay, so it's like more like 3. Okay,
because
but here's the reason 11. I say maybe not, because I heard a rumor that they haven't got the final numbers in for that movie yet. They're thinking it might have ended up closer to 20 than the 14.
That's for the full weekend, is what they're.
That didn't have a weekend. It's only been open for 1 day.
It came out on 4th of July.
4th of July. Yeah, I'm talking about on the 4th. They're saying that the numbers might not be accurate. It might be closer to 20 is what I'm saying. Because this movie's in a lot of smaller town theaters and shit. That's the point.
Yeah.
But like it's only showing in 1,000 screens as opposed to like the 2,500 screens that Indiana Jones is showing in. And they're averaging over $5,000 per screen compared to like Indiana Jones, which is barely pulling in like $1,000 per screen at best.
The numbers right now are showing 18,289,000.
Okay, so maybe they bumped it up to 18.
The 4th and the 5th. Yeah.
Get that link in Gilded if you want to show.
I don't know what it did yesterday. Did they have that yet?
July 5th numbers 4 million.
Oh, I can't. I believe it's more than that.
The numbers have been kind of weird lately because, like, when I was pulling up anything around Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, like they had nothing for several days. Like the 3rd and the 4th had nothing until naturally after I got done finished editing, uploading my video, where I was complaining about how that shit wasn't there, and finally they dropped it later on Wednesday. So,
are you counting this up and he's not around?
What's that?
Remember, this movie also did 10 million in pre-sales.
That was the other thing too. Yeah, as it did 10 million just in pre-sales. Yeah.
Do you think there's a possibility that it might be a good path for Christian movie studios or studios like it's Angel Studios? You said,
yeah,
it's just Angel Studios, not Angel something or like a.
No, it's just Angel Studio.
Okay, I think that they might have really benefited from a narrative standpoint by buying a movie that wasn't produced as a Christian film and just satisfies the objectives and the morals and things like that they would want for it. Because I find that the best argument I've ever heard against a religious, a specifically either ideologically or religious based type of filmmaking, is that if you know that it's a Christian film, you could pretty much predict everything that's going to happen to the
character. And like if you look at stuff from like the 90s, they were pretty much trash, right? I mean,
yeah, and I'm not saying that you can't make a good movie with those morals. It's the fact that because you know it's a Christian film, there's a good chance that that you're going to be able to track it on the arc that you would see in most Christian film protagonists.
Well,
now, granted, I've not watched a huge amount of Christian.
Real quick, number wise, we got 14 million day one. We got 4 on the 5th.
All right.
And nothing has been released for today. So
okay, well let me touch on what Mark's is talking about now. I don't know if there's more than 1 or 2 of these companies that do this, but they do more than just their movies too. It's like this network. They pick movies from time to time that they will promote through their stuff.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of people that get these movies, like the Passion of the Christ. That's how that became a $1 billion movie.
Right.
So like what they'll do is they'll either produce one of their own movies or they buy one. Like Nefarious recently was one they were advertising through these similar campaigns. They did it not last year but the year before, whatever it was, with that Mark Wahlberg movie Father Stew, for instance, which even though that was R-rated, then they turned around and released a PG-13 version as well. But they're not. Here's the thing: is they're getting involved with like studio films, but what they're doing is they're basically telling their flock, for lack of a better term, this movie is family friendly enough, or it has messages in it that we agree with, or it has messages that are morality.
Yeah, I'm totally fine.
Morality based.
You're not going to
stuff
see
like
anything that you're really not going to want your kids to see if it's one.
Well, they will warn you if it's something that's R-rated, like Father Stew. They did warn on the front that it does have adult themes,
ton of language,
swearing, and all that kind of stuff. But the point being is like this guy was a real guy. So like, and it did paint the church in a positive light. So they do kind of lean into those things. And it is like this whole little organization of people, and it goes through the churches, and it's almost like a free advertising campaign. Like there is no real money being exchanged here that I know of, because a lot of it's just talk and advertising and in the system that they have. And again, this is how these movies that make this money, like these Kirk Cameron movies, and most recently they also had the Left Behind movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Left Behind stuff was the ones I was thinking of. Which were...
like I said, they're not worried about trying to get to anybody else other than their own people. And if everybody else talks about it like us, we're talking about Sound of Freedom, that's all the better for them.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
as long as they don't hit me over the head.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the same thing with anything, right? And
I would say
the movie does get a little bit preachy, but it wasn't like super bad.
Well,
it's only one scene, right?
What'd you say, Mark? I stomped on you.
I said I would say the same thing about like a movie made by like a communist filmmaker or socialist.
100%.
I might not agree with the guy's ideology, but that doesn't mean if he makes a slasher film that has communist undertones, I'm not going to think it's a good slasher film with thrilling scenes. It's like you can still do a good job.
Look, all I'm going to say is it's probably you will enjoy something like this, Mark, because it's not Blue Beetle.
Although I gotta say that playing as Blue Beetle in Injustice 2 recently, like I went through kind of a fighting game arc in the lead up to Street Fighter 6 coming out. I got really into playing as Blue Beetle in Injustice 2, and with it being Miguel, I was kind of like, maybe I'll go see this movie, but I don't know if I'm going to have the drive to do it.
Dude, they have pulled back on that. I'm sure we'll talk about that later, but I look, I'm going to say there is no heavy-handedness in this film that I saw whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say it was heavy-handed. I just said it got a little bit preachy. It was one scene.
And
I can tolerate a bit of that though at the same time.
Well, exactly, but you know what? It wasn't. It wasn't a lecture for 2 hours plus.
No, it wasn't.
And so,
that would have made it a TED Talk.
Well,
it would have made it a Disney.
Don't even get me started on those, because I just watched a stupid one of those over on Lightscribe's channel. But anyway,
oh wow,
it's just another thing about this movie. Let's take the true story aspect out of this movie,
right?
Sound of Freedom. And just the fact that, look, there's been a lot of movies that are similar to this plot that have done well over the last few years. I mean, Liam Neeson has made a whole career out of them in the last decade.
What has he made? Taken 25?
25 right now?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like these kind of movies haven't been made before by Hollywood. It's just the one time it's based on a true story, they decide, well, we're just going to tuck that one under the...
Yeah. Well, one of the things I think is kind of a disservice to the movie is they're billing it as an action film, and it's not an action film.
No, it's a thriller. It's not an action movie.
Yeah,
No,
but that's
what
what I'm saying, because I was expecting something
yeah.
completely different.
Oh, really?
And yeah, because like even that fucking Jezebel article was saying it's an action film. It's like, no, it's not an action film.
With that, what is that? Wait. What does that tell you, Comics? It tells you they didn't watch the damn film.
No. There were other articles I read too that were even positive for the movie, saying it was an action film. So I was completely expecting something different. I was like, oh, cool. You know, it's an action film about taking down, pedos and child traffickers. And I mean, they're definitely taking them down, but just in a different way.
Giddy about these fucking Guardian and Jezebel reviews, because I'll tell you what, right now, this is what we need. Because this is what I was referring to earlier. Well, no, we needed a Dirty Harry or a Death Wish right now. Yeah. We need a movie, because they tried it with Top Gun.
Feel slightly less lucky.
What was that? Yeah, no shit. But no, we need a movie like that gets Hollywood and the media to realize that there are normal people out there who want to see things like this, who don't agree with what they've been giving us. You know, and I know it's not the same kind of sensationalized type movie that Dirty Harry or Death Wish was.
This movie's pretty grounded, I would say.
But it speaks to exactly what the main core problem is. And like I said, that line that's being drawn there is like, no, we don't mess with kids, right? And if you're going to sit here and try and put out a review where you're literally trying to throw this movie under the bus, calling it a conspiracy QAnon fantasy.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Hey,
I think, the demarcation line right there.
I said it. I
started beating my head against the wall reading that article. Gee whiz.
No, you're right.
We got to pull up the Jezebel article, because that shit's funny. Hang on. Before we do that, the Jezebel article is fucking hilarious because of how retarded it is. So yes, it is funny. Radioactive became a member at the I'll buy that for $1 level. Thank you, sir. Also, Cracho Dragon, who has been a member for 4 months at the Take My Money demo. Damn it level. God, I can say words. Speaking of Disney, I hear Iger wants extensions if true, except that the same, it's not KK or Feige. It's Iger that the problem will never give Iger credit. Let me read that again. Does that sound right? Speaking of Disney, I hear Iger wants an extension. If true, expect the same. Oh, okay. Basically, same. It's not KK or Feige. It's Iger. The problem never gives Iger credit. Okay.
You know, and after that, this meme
never attributed to him.
Not yet, Talks. Let me get through the rest of the stuff first. Okay. 60-bit mascot for $5. Hail to all the bros. Cheers, Dick's Division, and welcome, Mark. Hope you're all kicking butt this week. Yeah, man, I'm actually kicking some serious butt this week. Golden Eagle says the message basically said that this movie could be like Uncle Tom's Cabin for modern day slavery. Yes, that was mentioned in some of the articles I've read, and apparently that's also in the trailer.
And Jim Caviezel actually says that specifically during the message that you missed.
If you think that's gonna annoy me, it's not. Culture. Just letting you know. Zito the Stoic says the Guardian headline: "Sound of Freedom, the QAnon adjacent thriller seducing America." What the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? That is just, it's retarded.
Yeah.
J.A.F.O. Why does Culture Casino look like a gigolo?
I'm just a gigolo. And
I think he looks more like a juggalo.
Juggalo, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Juggalo's cool too. I'll put the makeup on. We'll be fine.
Slytherin Peanut says it's technically is a lecture. It's just that it's an entertaining and impactful one. Yes, I would agree with that.
The big difference is when I go to see a movie like Sound of Freedom, I know what I'm signing up for.
Well, okay. Let me be honest with you. Okay, if I have to receive the message, I would rather get a message that is, human trafficking is bad, rather than everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is homophobic and transphobic.
Well, and like I was going to say, I don't expect 100%. That message to be in Star Wars or Marvel.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is a movie about human trafficking. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't expect to
message
lecture
whatever.
On it,
I'm just saying, like that's my point. I want to see a movie about the plight of the gay man. I'll go see a movie about the plight of the gay man.
Tom, at least 3 or 4 of those Canto Pike kids got sold in Last Jedi.
Yeah. Randall says woke has become a religion, which it certainly has. It's been a religion for a very long time. We also have some Rumble rants. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. Look into a plane carrying 10 CIA agents being shot down years ago. The CIA agents facilitated supplying Iraq boys to Amen, sorry, not Amen. Southern Belle for $5 says this movie resonates because of school boards meetings, TikTok videos of teachers bragging, story time with inappropriate books, and no attire at parades. I have normie friends wanting to see it. Yeah, and that's the thing. What's nice about it is it's just a normal film. It's difficult. It's difficult.
Well, and it gets people
watch.
Actually talking too.
Yeah.
And not just talking about, this fucking movie sucks and the CGI sucked and who wants to see Fleabag. No, it's people talking about an actual subject.
Yeah, we're actually talking about
that affects daily life.
Yeah.
And if like I said, if you're a parent or somebody who knows has kids, whatever, it affects you because you're worried about that shit.
And it's pretty easy to tell. Go ahead, Culture.
No, go ahead.
I say it's pretty easy to tell whether or not you're a good person by which side of the line of this subject you fall on.
Yep.
So if you fall on the side that says this is okay to do, you're not a good person.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you fall on the other side, you're a good person.
This one's pretty easy.
I like Jamie's comments. Says, what was harder to sit through, The Sound of Freedom or 8mm? Oh my God, they are difficult for different reasons. I would definitely say 8mm. But they're difficult for different reasons.
That's not that bad.
But kind of the same reasons.
Not that 8mm is not bad. It's that I can watch 8mm. It's rough, but
this is a rough film for an entirely other reason. Look, there's nothing exploitative. There's nothing on the screen that's blatantly offensive. But the problem is they are nuanced in their storytelling, and they're so good at it.
It gives enough to the imagination to where your imagination will run away with certain things, which makes it bad.
It makes it way worse because your brain's going, "Holy crap, what is happening right now?" And that's even more impactful. It's like why Jaws worked better than if the shark worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I mean, it's just
so I have a thought. I have a question here. I haven't seen it yet, but just from hearing a couple of things, because Tom was talking about, we're at a point culturally when we need a Death Wish or a Dirty Harry or something like that. The fact that this movie has sat on the shelves for 5 years, if you consider what was going on back then. And, the last, 4 or 5 years ago, we were hearing a bunch of stories. The QAnon crowd was the big thing. And we were hearing all these stories about these underground places where the kids were being held and the adrenochrome stuff, all of this stuff that was going on back then. And anybody that was ever talking about it were being called crackpots and conspiracy theorists and all that. If this movie had come out then, it would have been completely obliterated. And nobody would be talking about it the same way that we're talking about it now.
I don't know that that's true. I think it might have had a different impact, Jason. I think at that time, if it would have reinforced, because it's based on a true story and the events actually happened, especially with the specific situation here, which I'm not going to spoil the film, but I think maybe it would have given credence to people's concerns over that. And maybe politically would have had a lot more influence.
One of the things too that kind of annoys me is that they're trying to link the whole QAnon thing to child trafficking, and that's how I feel like for several years they've been able to downplay child trafficking because of QAnon, and it's like, why would the media do something like that?
You know why?
Legit, that fucking bothers me.
Well, you know why? I mean, it's the same
Well,
reason.
I know.
It's the same reason Jezebel came out with the article the way they did. And what's important is that we go and we say, oh, well, we know what side you're on. You're on the side of the child predators. So at least we know where you and your parent company stand. And now we can just point at you as an example of all of this bad behavior. Because I'm sorry, you can't know about all of these things which are really happening and come to that conclusion and say that this film is, one thing or another, or tie it to some kind of conspiracy. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed recently, we're running out of conspiracy theories because they're all being freaking proven true.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
The difference between a conspiracy theory and truth is about what?
A week.
2 weeks?
Or 3 weeks.
Are we at a week now?
Man.
Yeah. Well,
It depends on the
8
year,
months.
right? Because usually it's like it started off as like a year later, 8 months, 6 months. Now it's like a week later we find everything out.
Yeah,
well, along those lines, I'll make a recommendation. I haven't seen this one yet, but there's another documentary that's out there that's related. It doesn't discuss children; it's adults. Anita Cordell, who's been in a number of films that I've made, she directed a documentary called "I Will Rise," and it looks at the story of Christine McDonald, who is a human trafficking survivor. It's about an hour long. I'm not finding where you can see it. The I Will Rise project is the website, but it's the same kind of thing. It's a documentary. It takes you through the story of this, because it's not just the kids that are doing it. It's this human trafficking altogether is this huge problem that we've got.
Oh yeah.
And I think if we have as many projects and as much attention as we can focus on it, and then, like you say, the people that come out and poo-poo it and criticize it and try to discredit it, well, we know where they stand.
Yeah. And what the thing is, you're allowed to criticize a film based off its merits. The issue I have is that the way they're trying to discredit the movie, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're like, hey, this movie's not great. It's not good. It's not well done. Blah, blah, blah.
And that's just it. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but it's different than what, Jezebel and the Guardian is doing. Is they're trying to link it to the QAnon conspiracy stuff,
right?
And basically calling it a fucking QAnon hate boner, right? Based off of the various titles. And we'll pull up the Guardian article. We won't go through the whole thing because it kind of spoils the plot of it, but we'll read at least like the first couple paragraphs where it's basically talking the whole QAnon thing. And it's like, dude, this is just a movie about human trafficking. It has nothing to do with QAnon. Despite what you may feel about the people who were involved in the film and what they may have said and talked about, this movie, nothing to do with it. And they're not judging it based off the merits of the film itself. And that's the issue for me.
Well, it's because, first of all, they're scared. They're scared because this is a movie that's kicking the ever-loving shit out of every single thing Hollywood has put out in the last few years, basically, or a few months, basically. And it's not something that they're putting out. Sure, they had a part in making it. That's not even the point here.
Yeah.
The grassroots campaign that this movie has and the desire that people have to see it and the talk about it right now is the shit they want for Indiana Jones. It's the shit they wanted for The Flash.
Make
it's
a better movie.
For,
that's the thing.
You're 100% right. Like, not even looking at the conspiratorial whatever part of it. The other side of it is with the QAnon stuff. To me, you're right. That to me shows me everything about your character that I need to know. Because the fact that you could even just sit there and try and tie some kind of conspiracy theory to this, or you're going to try and minimize this story in any way just because how you may feel about an individual that's involved with it or an individual or two, is just fucking ridiculous. Because I'll tell you one thing. If you can even look me in the eye and deny to me that human trafficking actually happens, first of all, and second of all, if you can just tell me that it doesn't matter if it's just one child, it shouldn't make a fucking difference, then I know you're a piece of shit.
Yep.
Because that's all I need to know about you. And that's the thing, is whether you like the movie or not, that's fine. But this right here, this kind of shit.
This right here, okay. Sound of Freedom is a
ridiculous
anti-child trafficking fantasy fit for QAnon.
Well, like I tweeted out, found the pedo.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, just that title right there says everything you need to know about this fucking article. I mean, literally, because
this organization and everything tied to them.
Yeah. Well, first off, it's based off of a true story. And again, just like when anything based off a true story, it's obviously going to be embellished quite a bit. But to call it a fantasy when it specifically is based off of true events and they actually show you footage from the raid and you call it a fantasy, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, what they're trying to project with the fantasy element of this is why I brought up Death Wish and I brought up Dirty Harry, because those movies were key in what led to basically like shit turning around in the 70s. That's why Nixon got fucking elected, is because people were sick and tired of this shit. And they despised that movies like Death Wish and Dirty Harry were winning at the box office, because it showed that people were not buying into this leftist bullshit propaganda that everybody was trying to push in the media and in the movies and everywhere else and in the other music and movements that they had out there. That the fact that these movies were kicking ass at the box office and that what people were cheering in the movie theaters, and that's what made them sick, right? And they even wrote this in their critiques, because they would even say, oh yeah, the movie is well shot and it's this and that, it's an engaging story, but it's just a right-wing propaganda bullshit mess that makes the wrong people cheer. And that's the problem.
You talk about the remake of Death Wish?
No, I'm talking about the original.
Well, the funny thing is they said the same thing about the
Of course
remake.
they did, and the remake's a fucking pale comparison to the original. But this here is, again, what I'm saying, it's generating the same kind of energy for me that I read and all that kind of shit back then. And it's the kind of thing that these kind of articles are making me feel again. The fact that you can sit here and say, well, you know, this is just some conspiracy fantasy for the right-wing bastards to go out there and go, yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's like, what in this movie? And they did the same thing with Rambo. Unfortunately, Rambo didn't make any money. I'm talking about the last one. Right? Because that one had a heavy plot about the same exact kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, they won that fight because the movie didn't make any money at the box office. They're not going to win this fight. Why? Because this movie is going to make bank. And people are going to keep talking about this for the next couple of weeks here.
Do you have any idea how much this movie cost to make, Tom? Have you
$14 million? And it doesn't matter because $14 million, and it doesn't really matter because the best that we can surmise that the producers and Angel Studios paid to get it back from Disney was at a loss. They at most paid anywhere between $5 to $8, if not $10 million, is all we can track down.
So Disney took a loss on it.
That's what we're saying. Technically, it's not, because it was made under Fox and then came with the acquisition. But it was a movie they had sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. So it's somewhere they funny moneyed that away. Got it.
Oh yeah.
At least for Angel Studios, then it's slam dunk that it's going to be profitable.
Oh, it's going to be very profitable.
And that's what I'm saying is they haven't really had to advertise this thing.
No, there's a lot of word of mouth.
Well, it's been all like guerrilla marketing type stuff, I would say.
Exactly. It's grassroots. Exactly.
Grassroots,
yes.
not guerrilla, grassroots.
And just to add to this, so they have this pay it forward idea. I know we kind of mentioned it before, but there's a QR code that they post up on the screen, during the course of events. They encourage you to take your phone out of your pocket and take a picture of the QR code. You can actually gift tickets to somebody else and pay it forward. And guess who's done that already?
We brought that up earlier, I think, when you stepped away, Culture, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, but yeah.
No. I just thought it was a great idea because I brought it up, and I said to you, I bet you'd love this because, this is a great example of how to do this thing compared to pressuring, these organizations like they did with Black Panther and Captain Marvel to buy tickets instead.
Yeah, and here and you know what? If you want a golden open, give the audience an opportunity to give tickets to somebody else, because let me tell you, they're way more motivated for something like this than a organization with a fixed budget and interest.
Yeah.
So,
look at what happened with Drunk 3PO's book. He put that out there. We could donate, and he sold. He got a ton of money to give those away to kids for a positive story.
I was laughing at the opening line of this thing here. I'm sorry.
What I love about all of it is this, that they showed that there are still good people in the world with money, like the billionaire that actually supported this to happen because the federal government dropped the ball and didn't want to be involved in it.
Yep.
It's very cool. The film, you got to go see this film. I'm sorry. I don't usually say that. I'm not usually that effusive about it. I mean, I give you a rating and all that, which I'm going to do tomorrow in the review that you'll see. But this is one of those that I would just say you won't be wasting your time.
Well, and true stories like this, I rate a little differently on a scale of like how did it reflect on the time? Did it work as a movie? Were you relying too much on the tropes of past biopics and such?
Mm-hmm.
Even though like a great example is I love Queen. I know the biopic of Bohemian Rhapsody is like 90% bullshit. But as a movie, it works. right?
Yeah,
Like there's an example, but
well, the other thing too, it's hard for me to, when it comes to a movie like this, and say judge it on whether it's entertaining or not, right? It's like, this is a movie about human trafficking, right? You can't judge
It's
it on
not
the
a
same criteria.
feel-good subject.
No, exactly. It's like, was I entertained? Well, no, I wasn't, because the subject matter is very heavy.
it's
right?
being compared to like Schindler's List.
Yes,
You look at that, then whether or not it's engaging rather than entertaining.
It is engaging. I would not say it's
Does it make you
entertaining.
think? Does it make you feel something? That's different than an entertainment.
And that's your point. It's engaging on the same level of Schindler's List. I would not say I enjoyed Schindler's List, because
but
it's about the
a movie that
massacring
makes
of
you
people.
think and feel something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shawshank.
Right.
I mean,
Are
it's
you going to feel
okay.
like going out and donating to a cause that is
Yes.
out there trying to fight this? Are you going to get more engaged with what's happening at the southern border to figure out how do we help and stop this from happening?
Yeah.
All right. And real quick, before we get to this paragraph, I just want to say that here's a weird thing. It's anecdotal, but it's kind of like a bizarre occurrence. I went into this theater, went to go sit down in my row, and 4 seats over from me is one of my very good friends sitting there by himself to see the movie on a day he should be working. And I was like, this is unbelievable. That, this is how inspiring this film can be to bring people to this. And again, the theater was like pretty full. It was early. I mean, you're talking about like an 11:15 a.m. showing, and there's like, pretty decent crowd. I mean, it's not like Indiana Jones where there was like, 38 people in a 500 seat auditorium.
Well,
So
it's
you're like,
not,
where's
and
everybody?
it's not like these movies can't do things. They raise awareness, and this is what Hollywood used to be able to do. And this is what I'm saying. Like when I go to see a movie, I know what I'm getting myself into. That's one thing, right? I'm participating in something that I know is a true story. I know what I'm getting myself into. I know it's not going to be something that's going to be quote unquote entertaining. But what it can now then is open my eyes and other people's eyes to the possibilities. I can't remember who said this. Maybe it was Chris Gore the other day on our morning show. Or it could even been Culture. I don't know. I don't want to take credit away from him, but it makes you think about things like, they show you how these things work. For instance, like they have like these parents that will, or the stand-in parents that will take these kids through, and that's how they get them through. They do this shit right out open broad daylight.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's these people who are paid, and all you do is you just look at them for a moment and you think, oh, it's just a kid who's crying because he's not getting his way. But then you realize, you stop to think, well, maybe that's not necessarily the case every time because of how, these things work. And it's just opens your eyes to different things in the world.
One of the things the film did at the very beginning is they showed like CCTV footage of children being kidnapped. Yeah, just like literally people grabbing kids and running off.
Yeah.
It is absolutely horrible. But yeah, I mean, going back to what we're talking about, it's like, it's impactful. This movie is impactful. It's not entertaining is the best way of describing it.
Look, and I'm not going to sit there and argue, an argument of like, okay, are most kids who are kidnapped by somebody they know or another parent or what have you in a, situation where there's an argument? Sure. But that doesn't mean that there's not a large portion that are not. And you can't ignore this problem anymore. The Sound of Freedom is a movie that will make changes. And that's what I was going to get at. Because even Dirty Harry, we look at it as like a piece of entertainment now in this much in the future, in the past, even though it's not a true story, it's loosely based on a true story. And I'll tell you what, Dirty Harry actually did change things. Okay. Cause it's loosely based on the what's his name? The guy with the symbol. I can't remember, not the scorpion, but the,
Prince.
Yeah, that guy. The killer. They call him the Scorpion
Zodiac.
in the movie.
Zodiac
the
killer.
Zodiac, yes, the Zodiac killer, because they never fucking caught him. And you don't think about it now, but if you stop to think about it, back then, Dirty Harry was the only guy chasing this guy because they didn't have like a CIA or a CSI type of situation where people would actually investigate serial killers and shit. They didn't have those parts yet. That movie began this idea of getting the awareness out there that we need special organizations within detective, in the units to have, more awareness of how serial killers works and how we can track them down. We need databases. We need all these things. It all stems from something like that because you have, these killers out there that weren't normal then. It was like,
it inspired the BAU and people to study the
Black
serial
Dahlia and all that kind of stuff that were happening at that time.
The flip side of that too, you had TV shows like Emergency, which was really instrumental in getting paramedic units started in fire departments across the country.
It's a funny story, by the way.
There you go.
With emergency, I used to jump on my brother all the time when I was a kid, screaming "clear" because of emergency. By the way, Mark, you've been rather quiet. Do you have any thoughts on any of this stuff?
I haven't seen the movie, so we
don't have to talk about the movie. Just the topic what we're talking about in general, man.
I mean, I've just chimed in every time I've had something that I've felt I've been able to add, but I did love the Dirty Harry films.
Mark, I think you and your better half will enjoy the film. I mean, not enjoy it, but I think it'll be
it'll be a
worthwhile.
Are you talking about the top half or the bottom half of Mark? Which one's his better half?
Well, the bottom half is Cyborg.
All of my top half is fully human, so there's
that's right.
But I mean,
it's the cyborg parts that everybody likes.
He has a cybernetically enhanced protocol. I'll leave that protocol up to your imagination.
Everybody
stop. Terminator Eye of my avatar is an artistic flourish. That's
sure. But I was talking specifically to Mr. X-Ray Girl because I know that his better half, Miss X-Ray Girl, is probably going to.
Yes, I understand, and I was trying to save everybody from that joke.
Oh, that didn't work.
By the way, somebody mentioned Drunk 3PO earlier. The books have arrived. I talked to RJ at Critical Mass today. He says he's got 3,000 pounds of books on 2 pallets.
Oh shit!
I don't know that that's all his, but he just got them, and we're gonna spend 2 days next week packing up Drunk 3PO's books. So fulfillment is about to happen. Anybody that's bought one,
that's nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. I just realized we told Mark we'll probably talk about this for 30 minutes. We've already gone an hour.
Isn't it out?
I'm sorry.
I mean, we went into Indiana Jones and talking about.
Yeah, we went through.
Yeah, I mean, because you had all the money in the world with Indiana Jones, and they produced a stinker. Now, Mrs. Flew enjoyed it when we went to go see it. I'm not going to bring her down off of enjoying the film. I'm not going to do that. However, it was too long. Again, all these movies are way too damn long. I don't need a 3-hour film unless you're going to make a good film that engages me. Like Comix did a video this morning. It was 10 minutes. Normally, after about 2 minutes, I'm done with videos. But I didn't. Well, no, in general, just done with videos. I don't have a whole lot of time. And I'm kind of slightly, retarded. But anyway,
it was only 10 minutes. Did he bill it as a 30-second video?
No, he did not. But when it was done, I didn't realize it was done. Until he gets to the end. Okay, and that's the end of it. I was wanting more stuff from that. So he did a very engaging video. The performance was great on it today, and that's what I think this film is. They've done an engaging film. They've made a good film.
Yep.
They've tried hard to make this good film. They got it released. They knew how to market it to people that were going to come out and spend money to see this film. And therefore, it's going to be successful. Disney spends $300 million plus on what should be $1 billion film, The Last Indiana Jones, with Harrison Ford in it. We came up last week with 4 or 5 plots for this movie that were way better than what we got.
Yeah.
Just to see the Spear of Destiny and Chris Pratt coming back to play, to play his son, that gives me chills just thinking about how good that film could be. And they're so caught up in their ideology there, they don't get it, right? And I got into an argument with somebody in your comments on this video today about Disney parks not making money. I'm like, we saw it. And Jay Drunk 3PO did a whole video set on how Universal is kicking their butt. Because his comment was that Disney's parks were still the most visited in 2023. And I'm like, prove it. Give me
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I'm like, give me the link to this, because if I'm wrong, I want to know, and I'll tell the people in here, say, hey, look, this is what they're saying.
No, they've done serious damage to their brand. Absolutely have.
But it's every one of their brands. I mean, and that's
shit, dude. Their stock is taking a massive hit again. It's down. It's 88.74 right now.
Whiz.
Yeah, and it was at like 90, I think, earlier. But
you remember the term "shoot yourself in the foot"?
It was over $100.
That's
where's Target?
But that's what's happening.
Well, the funny thing is, back in 2021, their stock was over. Well, actually, not over. It was damn near close to $200. Now it's $88.
Yeah.
But
We're
that's
in the tank,
not
brothers.
that's not inflation adjusted. If you just for inflation, that $200 that you had 2 years ago, right, and now you have 88. Instead of losing 112, you actually lost closer to 130.
Here, I'll share this.
Culture, go ahead and say what you're going to say, because I was going to get us to the Bob Chapek stuff.
Oh, good.
So here's their peak, 197. Now it's down to 88.74.
Yep.
Ouch.
They were one of those companies that was going to try to get to that $1 trillion level. That's a fucking pipe dream now.
Happening now.
That August 9th third quarter call is going to be real interesting.
I was just going to say, I
bet.
think Iger's making a case for his extension right now. We've been hearing some rumors. We talked about this earlier on Pro's channel.
Oh, that was great. By the way, you guys killed that live stream. Well done.
Yeah, like there's a reason behind it, and that's because they know they're in for a cold winter. This is going to get dark. And look, at this point, who wants this fucking job? That's why I think Christy McCarthy left.
Mm-hmm.
She knew that the writing was on the wall, and that was who they wanted to. That was who he had wanted to take over, I believe. And when she left, that left this situation like who were going to do it. And I guess this Dana Waldron or whatever her name is, it's not going to happen. It's not. From what I've been hearing, she just gets into it too much with other people, and it didn't sound like she was
she doesn't get along
candidate
with
anymore.
Yeah, and
so what Bob's going to do is vie for an extension, and that's going to give him a little more time to fix his legacy. Hopefully, at least that's in his eyes. I bet that's my take on this.
Tom,
I think the chat's consensus is Disney's only worth as much as a $20 hooker.
Oh, $20 hooker can do a lot more for me than Disney could right now.
That's great.
Okay, all right. So let me get some of the other comments real quick. Okay, Elizabeth Young says it's the same crap I've been seeing for years. They see a indie film succeed ahead of a big tentpole, and they feel they need to shoot it down.
True story.
Yeah,
but I think this is
for $10. Just returned from the movie. It was packed. Indy was not.
You're going to start seeing Indy dropping cinemas here real soon.
Oh, I bet.
And this is where I compare it to the whole Dirty Harry thing. I suggest on that whole thing, if you're interested in that, especially you, Mark, because you said this is the only part that really interests you, but I think you will like this. Check out the documentary A Moral Right, The Politics of Dirty Harry. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere, and if it's not, it's on the Blu-ray of Magnum Force. That's the second one, right? I think so. On the second Dirty Harry movie, it's on the Blu-ray and DVD. If you have it, that means you already. What was that?
There are four Dirty Harrys or 3? Or is there more? Like, did they just keep making them?
There was Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, Sudden Impact,
Deadpool,
and there's one.
Wasn't Magnum Force first?
Magnum Force might have been the second one. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah. You know what?
Dirty
If
Harry,
only there
of
was
course.
this thing called the internet where I could look this stuff up.
Yeah, no, I just can't remember.
If only talks.
Sudden Impact was the one before Deadpool. That's all I ever remember. I get the middle two.
Deadpool's the last one. It was
put in Harry Dirty movies, and that's not.
Oh shit!
Clint
You're in
Eastwood.
trouble now.
Deadpool.
You were right. Dirty Harry, 1971. The Enforcer, 1976.
The
Okay,
Enforcer.
Yeah, but Magnum Force was the second one. So 71 was Dirty Harry, 73 was Magnum Force, The Enforcer 76, Sudden Impact 83, and Deadpool 88.
And the reason I say to check that out, you'll start watching that documentary and you'll be like within 5 minutes going, holy shit. We talk about this shit every day.
Yeah. And look, Tom's right. I mean, that the Deadpool, the 88 film, the 88 was not a terrible box office year. That film, Deadpool, pulled a ton of viewership.
And that's probably one of the worst of the Dirty Harry movies.
Yeah.
But it pulled a ton of
It's not a bad movie at all. It's just probably the lesser of the bunch.
I liked Deadpool.
I like them all. All 5 are really good.
What was that, Mark?
The premise of Deadpool was pretty good. The execution on it,
Yeah, I think Magnum Force was my favorite. But
I think Magnum Force was one of the best.
Well,
I go ahead, Tom.
The first 2 are the most political ones, and that's why that documentary's on the second film. Because John Milius wrote the second one.
Oh,
if you know anything about Milius,
oh boy.
No, actually,
I immediately caught up.
He's a right-wing nut.
Okay.
What a wonder. Like, if you've seen The Big Lebowski,
Yes.
yeah.
the character that John Goodman played is based on John Milius.
Nice. I say that's like relatives that I have. So.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he also wrote Conan the Barbarian.
Oh yeah, he wrote the speech for the
he did
for Jaws, and he wrote Apocalypse Now. He wrote he's
John Miller is great, man.
He's incredible. Tom, well, the name of the documentary, because there's two things have been asked in the chat.
Moral Right, The Politics of Dirty Harry.
There you go. And then
it's on the Magnum Force DVD and Blu-ray, if not.
Exactly. And then the question from Pinochet's Helicopter Tours, I think, is really important. Will the activist investor return to haunt Iger?
Ooh.
Nelson Peltz.
I think so.
Comics?
I don't know. I'm not exactly super knowledgeable when it comes to investing. And I've heard the term activist investor. I honestly not sure what it is.
All that means is it's somebody that's like trying to get a specific performance out of a corporation. It's not like activist in an.
Well, that's why I said I wasn't sure what that meant, because I didn't think it meant an activist, but
right.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tried to do that, but I think they're kind of hard pressed to get Disney stock up.
Right now, Tom, you think Nelson Peltz rolls back in the door, bro?
Yep.
Me too.
Because what do they do now? Like, if it's not Bob who takes over for the next year or two, it's
who's Nelson Peltz?
Nelson Peltz is the guy who raised a bunch. Oh, go ahead. You know him better than I.
Nelson Peltz is an activist investor in that he almost always wins in proxy fights. He was bringing a proxy war to Disney's doorstep for specific performance. He wanted the company to do X, Y, and Z.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Iger walked the line and said, we're going to give you X, Y, and Z. And we're going to do it by cutting 7,000 people, which is going to end up being over 12,000 people by the time he's done. And it's still not going to get him there. And they're still forced to buy Hulu, and it's still going to make them so they're not profitable. They're going to have a really hard time producing a dividend, which is one of the requirements that Peltz had. So when we get to the next annual shareholder meeting, I believe there will be a proxy fight to replace not only Iger, but the entire board of directors. I think you're going to have enough people.
He needs that at this point. It needs to be fucking clean house.
Yeah. And I think you're going to have enough people with enough money that are not tied to institutional investment that are going to kick down the door and go bananas. And I think the weird thing is the regular retail investors like yours truly, they're gonna throw their proxy behind Peltz and his efforts.
Culture, what do you think of the odds that shareholders bring a lawsuit against Disney before that meeting?
It's already been happening. I mean, right now, Disney's dealing with a group of lawsuits. I mean, in various forms. I mean, you have an equal pay lawsuit. You have like 3 different investor lawsuits already. You got the guy in Florida that's suing for documents for, and again, if he gets the documents he's requested, he's going to be able to prove that Disney has not been operating in the best interest of shareholders, which is a terrible thing. See, the minute you attack ESG at that level and you're able to be successful, then you can go after everybody, which would also include institutional investment houses like, I don't know, BlackRock, State Street, Blackstone. I can keep going. But yeah.
I would just love to see Kramer say that the stock is going to take off right before.
Buy. Yeah, that's the minute he says Disney's a buy, I'm going to be like, oh, the shit. Death knell.
Yeah, Disney's fucked. All right.
Dude, there is actually, hey God, real quick. There's actually a fund you can invest in that's anti-Kramer.
That's fucking funny. That's pretty well. All right, 60-bit mascot for 350. Hail Dix Division and hail the chat. Good peeps.
16-bit mascot.
I want Karen McCarthy's lawsuit to go to Discovery so badly. I really want that out. It's not going to happen, but I wish.
It would be nice.
Hey, I tell you what, if they get the gender discrimination one to the lawsuit for, that's even better because it's gonna F them.
Put a pin in that. I want to hear more about that. Okay, on the Odyssey side from TZ Burton for $5 buckaroos. This movie is meant to make you uncomfortable. Yes, it absolutely is. What if it was your kid who was kidnapped? Yes. That is the entire point of the movie. Get up and become active. Well, yeah, and it definitely shines a light on something that needs to be a light shined onto, but it's something that people talk about, but they don't do anything about. Right? Certain people, I should say. Certain people. Well, we won't go into details. Anyway, Radioactive for $5. Saw Sound of Freedom Wednesday at 2:20 showing, roughly 75% full. There was a young adult in the audience as well. There were young adults in the audience. I think my theater was kind of older.
I had older people, but there were a few young folks that the older people were sitting towards the back. The younger people were sitting towards the middle. It was an interesting crowd. I could tell there are a lot of people that are my age and older that are hating what's happening in the world right now. They have money and they have a form of power that these kids do not have.
Yep.
There are a lot of people
like with Ripaverse.
Yeah. There are a lot of people that just want to be left alone who have been pushed to the point where, okay, it's time to act.
Yeah. All righty. Peter Shea's Helicopter Tours says, Comix Division and panel, would you agree there is a big underground counterculture?
Yes.
Like going to see this film is almost flipping off the system.
Yes.
Like a boycott, customer action or inaction. Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, especially considering I literally saw more people in this theater day 2 than I did day 1 of Indiana Jones.
I got a point to make here. When
all I want to add to that is this, Pinochet, and this is in service of what you're saying and what Comix just said, is people are walking away from Disney. They're quiet quitting Disney. I don't think anybody's paying that close attention to this. I might even make a video about it, but people are walking away from Disney every level. And
did you see Drunk 3PO's?
I'm fucking giving them the bird.
Yeah, did you see Drunk 3PO's tweet about the wait lines on July 4th between Disney and Universal?
No.
So Disney had like 5-minute wait lines, and people were like, I've never seen it like this. There's nobody around. Universal, an hour, 75 minutes, 90 minutes.
The last time, talks real quick, I'll just add to context. Last time I saw lines this short, my friend, was post 9/11.
Ouch.
Oh, damn. Not even COVID.
Wow.
So the point I wanted to make was something that Ian, nice name change there, Ian K.
Okay.
So no recognition for huge wall-hung unwhite booger, but that's okay. The point that you made about counterculture, it's now become mainstream to be what used to be the counterculture.
Yeah.
Right. So Rage Against the Machine is now Rage with
on behalf of the machine.
Yeah. Right. And I think what you're seeing is counterculture becoming what used to be normal. So, okay, we've had enough of this crap.
Yeah.
We agree, love is love, or whatever you want to say, or all that stuff. I just want to be left alone. That's the key that got me thinking this way, was Jason saying that. I, too, especially as a libertarian, just want to be left alone. I want to go to a film, and I don't want you to beat me over the head with your ideology.
Right.
Whether it's woke or whether it's religious. I don't want to hear it. I want to go to a film, and I want to be entertained. And I think there's been several breakpoints. Children, that's a line for me. All right. It should be a line for everyone in the world. But when they started pulling this crap in video games, where that's the ultimate leave me alone, I just want to do something. They started pulling this crap in video games. And what was the guy, Nick Merch or whatever, where they pulled that? And how quickly, Nick Merckx, yeah. How quickly did that stuff say, nope, and I'm not buying this stuff. Right.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons why Sound of Freedom is doing so well, is because all of this crap in the last how many months now, with all of this activism stuff and going back to the bill in Florida and the battle there, and all of a sudden everybody now has their attention on the fact that these degenerates are going after our kids at every level.
Well, this movie was made 5 years ago, right? Before all this real crap of them putting in these diversity hires started destroying films.
And the timing of it couldn't have been better, I think.
But I think
Yeah.
that's I think that's why they put it in on the shelf. I think that's why they shelved it, Jason, because again, I said it before, I'll say it again. If this film had come out then, you would never have had the shit we're dealing with now, because there would have been such an uprising with it being confirmed, the bologna sausage about, you know, the Anon crap. But but getting back to the video games thing that Tox was talking about, because we have Mark here. Mark, you know, you do video games.
Video
all the
game
time.
master himself.
Yeah. And you saw what was happening with Nick Mertz. You talked about it before. You know, I mean, what's your perspective here? I mean, are you seeing this happening in the gaming community?
I mean, I think we're kind of at a sea change moment in the way people view the meta industry in video games, like the industry around video games, like streamers or games journalism and things like that, mostly because AI is making it so that trash tier game journalism is essentially going to go away. It's way cheaper and easier, and you'll probably get a better quality product to tell Chat GPT, hey, write a thing about what happened with Nick Merckx that is like, I don't know, kind of clickbaity, but not that much. And then have Chat GPT like trained to write you the kind of patter that you see on all these websites. So I think a lot of them are worried that they're going to lose their job. And my whole deal with that is like, I'm going to bring it on, like, because I think I can bring more to the table than Chat GPT can. But I think a lot of the people who cover games can't, or they don't want to put in the effort it would take them to do so. So it's like,
well, I think part of the issue with games journalism is a lot of those journalists aren't gamers, and that's part of the issue. You can't properly review a game if you don't know how to fucking play it.
Okay, Frosk.
Easy mode.
Yeah.
Well, there's too many games.
Easy mode, or they only play an hour of it and then say, okay, I can tell you everything about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically it. But I think that with that occurring, a lot of people are getting kind of wise to the fact that games journalism is becoming significantly more clickbaity than it even normally was in the past, and it has been for quite some time. So I think most gamers are kind of getting sick of it. So I think we're gonna start seeing more games focused on just being video games.
Oh, and that's really important, right? I mean, because influence lies in your realm right now, Mark, and it does, rather than the games urinalists, right? You're going to see Ubisoft have to recorrect and not be so freaking woke.
Yeah, Ubisoft.
It sucks because I like Ubisoft. I love the Assassin's Creed games, but I haven't touched them since Origin, and just.
Well, you have to look at the fact that this sphere now exists creatively. This alt media, new media, whatever it is you want to call it, all of us out here making this stuff, whether it's journalism or opinion media or game coverage or whatever. And then you look at some of the sites like Comic Book Resources. I mean, you talk about the clickbait stuff. That one was probably one of the worst ones. They even had, somebody even designed a headline generator to create headlines that you would see on CBR. And they're gone. They're going away. All of these things, Vice and Daily Beast, all these different ones that are just collapsing because people are walking away from all of this journalism, quote unquote, that is mostly activism. Yeah, it's activism medium. It's not objective coverage of the stuff. Now, the game stuff, I mean, this has been going on since Gamergate, but all of this stuff, we're seeing it in all of the entertainment media, not just in video games, but comic books and
well, that was one thing that Sargon said back early on in the day, is that they're coming for your entertainment. They're coming for your hobbies.
Yeah. And they're trying to, it's crossed the ocean into Japan now. There's stuff going on now with anime and manga is being infected with this crap.
Well, they're trying to push it into Japan. Japan has told them to fuck off, but it's mainly been appearing in the translation studios here in the States.
Yeah, but there's some stuff in Japan that's starting to incorporate some of this stuff too. It's not quickly, but I saw a couple of headlines the other day that Japan is starting to get it.
Fuck.
Well, I mean, maybe I'd have to like I would probably have to actually play the game in question where it's like, hey, this is Japan going basically un-Japanese, which they tend to not do. They tend to just kind of do their own thing, especially when it comes to video games. But I think that could be an example of a clickbaity sort of headline, which happened. Like, for example, there was a lot of stuff going around about Street Fighter 6 being woke. And like, you play the game and you're like, oh yeah, all the women are covered up. And I'm like, no, you didn't play it. Like, there's tons of fan service, like waifu stuff in Street Fighter 6. Then people would be complaining about things like, oh, well, Cammy's wearing yoga pants instead of the one-piece bathing suit that she normally wears. And it's like, yeah, she's got a new costume, but that, like, the old
yoga pants is, I'd say, like the modern equivalent of what she's wearing.
I honestly think like the new Cammy design is very, very hot. I'm like, yeah, you know, like, I think.
Okay, so let me say something about
her old costume's in the game. Though. I'm like, so if you played the game, like, select costume B, man. Like, articles were written about like, oh, this game's gone woke. They changed Cammy's costume and made it not sexy. I'm like, the new one is sexy. The old costumes in the game.
I go back and look at the 1960s show, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and Mary Tyler Moore was on there with capri pants and a bare midriff, right? Those were skin-tight pants in the early 60s. And when I was in high school in the mid to late 80s, they were short shorts. The girls were wearing less on, shorts were showing more than the stuff that I'm seeing now.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Well, there's definitely
I kind of reject
there.
that. Oh, we need to go back to the good old days of morality and all that kind of stuff and things from there, because it wasn't true. There was a lot of skin tight stuff back then and less clothing worn.
I mean, even major TV personalities that were considered feminist, like let's say Carol Burnett, who was also a comedian, was wearing some very provocative clothing.
Provocative stuff, yeah. But she was also wearing curtains.
That's also before the sex negative feminism became a thing, right? And that's kind of the issue right now.
Well, see, they made Barbara Eden wasn't allowed to show her belly button.
Oh, that was Annette Funicello. When she did the Beach Party movies, that was the one thing that Walt Disney said, I don't want you showing your belly button.
Yep.
I don't want you wearing a bikini. You need to wear a one piece.
Yep.
And, that's my mom and dad grew up on those things. So here's my mom and dad, very conservative Christian people. And bikinis were not a problem.
No.
For them. So,
No.
All right. Let me get back to Super Chats, guys. I didn't get a chance to push them off. Ozma for $10 says for the Joy Division album cover as the background.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And now you know the secret to my channel name.
It's Rocky.
Anyway.
Ian K is really gay?
Yes.
No. Comix Division, you idiot. It's Joy Division.
Comix Division's really gay. I got
it. Fuck off, culture. All right.
Redneck finger. Hello.
Redneck finger, buddy.
Holy
Ben,
shit.
how you doing, dude? For 20 Danish krona, hot. A pot of coffee is good for my mind. Hi, guys. Yes, hot coffee is always good. Deleted Scene says comics. The fact that one movie, that best movie of the year so far, was made 5 years ago is very telling. The fact that Disney tried to deep six, Sound of Freedom proves how shady they have become.
True.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of sus why they did that.
Sus.
It's more than a little bit sus. They had a whole time period where, they needed movies to release.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't release it.
That's kind of weird.
You needed whatever entertainment you could get during the pandemic, and they kept it on the shelf.
But Brahma, let me add some context here, and you can respond. They're very rapidly coming up on the same kind of time period here really soon. So
exactly.
Bad decision making.
It's okay.
Yeah, their next 2 years are going to be pretty ugly.
Pinochet's helicopter tours for $2. The movie JFK inspired multiple congressional investigations in the 90s, as well as led to laws being made, laws which Joe Biden illegally violated last Friday.
Yeah.
Southern Bell for $2.
Chat completely air out for anybody else?
Yeah,
it's airing out for me.
Yeah, mine did too.
That's weird.
Rumble chat's still up.
Yeah, Rumble Chest. Yeah. All right, Southern Belle for $2 says
Maybe
what
we're
happened?
getting too spicy. Sorry.
I don't think we're getting that spicy. What happened to the new task force Trump set up for CT traffic? Yeah, well, no, that Trump that thing died in 2020. It was before Biden was even president. The one thing, sorry, this is weird. The day it was set up, the press was a no-show. Oh, that's interesting. Southern Belle for $2 says, also, thanks to Shag's chat, I now cannot unsee Phoebe Waller's mole on her head, upper forehead. Yeah. That thing
we
is.
Talked about that last night.
So funny thing. I was going to tell Comix and I decided not to do it. I was doing a thumbnail for him for one of his videos, and I kept trying to erase the mole from her head digitally, the image, and it took me like an hour to figure out it was real. Yeah. Mrs. Flu had to come running. She's, are you okay? Because I was swearing like crazy, like a sailor. It's like, son of a goddamn, it's a mole.
Well, no, it's a mole. It's a mole.
Is it a mole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mole.
Exactly.
What that was funny.
DS for $2. Chat error test.
No, we're good.
Went through.
Yeah, I think it started working now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ozma, for sharing the stream. Yeah.
Hey, Saltzilla. Want to say I saw Saltzilla became a member of the channel today, so thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
During one of Comix's videos, I saw that pop up.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
If for those of you that are gifted memberships, because many of you have been, when that elapses, when that runs its course, consider becoming a member in full-fledged situations, because Mark got big. Mark is showing us his puppy.
Wow.
Mark's panning to his
Did
crotch.
somebody walk into the room with tight pants? I'm just wondering. Oh, look at the puppy.
Is that your puppy, or are you just happy to see us, Mark?
Yeah, she's a good puppy.
That's a good puppy.
Anyway, back to that conversation. If you get the opportunity, if you enjoy the membership, consider like making it, a regular part of your life. That's all I wanted to say. So there you go.
I would appreciate it.
Give Comix money. Yeah. Comix needs the money.
Yeah, give Comix money.
Give my unemployed ass money. That'd be great. Yeah.
Well, and especially since I need a job. Wow, that is okay. That's not a scene I need to see.
A dog licking himself.
It's another puppy.
Puppy cam.
Darius wants to know if that's your leg or you're just happy to see it.
I don't know. I'm not wearing a leg right now.
Yeah, that's right. And
Fair enough.
Mark has that wonderful detachable leg.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a detachable
penis
appendage.
Yeah, chicks are really into it.
Detachable appendage.
Chicks dig scars, but they dig large dildos even better.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have no idea how powerful a scar is until you've had a full-blown amputation, man. Okay.
No. I'm glad you're taking that one for it.
Do they make the dragon attachment for your
Like
are you really going for culture?
I couldn't finish.
Yeah, for good reason.
Like bad dragon? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things
that'd be a good money-making activity. Mark the cyborgs, adult toys. I think you'd do that.
Jojo doesn't like that.
Yeah.
sounds like it.
Oh wow, she's unhappy. Oh, look at that.
She's a very temperamental puppy.
Growly face.
I honestly do think she has PTSD, like unironically. So I do want to keep her calm.
Some dogs get abused like that, and they,
Well, she didn't get abused. She just she witnessed some things, and I think
she probably shouldn't have.
and also she doesn't have front teeth, so she has to protect her food from this one.
No,
I didn't mean to make it all about the puppies. I just figured.
No, that's all right.
That's fine.
They're so cute. Look at them.
So one of the things I thought was interesting that we kind of brought up was apparently Vietnam, and was it what was the other country that's not going to show the Barbie movie?
South Korea.
Is it South Korea?
X-Ray Girl is definitely going to see it. She's Vietnamese. Suck it, Vietnam. Ha.
Well, the thing that's really weird about it, this isn't anything like we would normally think like, oh, they have a problem with the movie because of the subject matter or morality or blah, 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 blah. It's over this whole thing with the 9 line. If you guys don't know what the,
Oh, Philippines. You're right, Office Girl.
Yeah.
Wasn't South Korea, it's Philippines.
So there's this thing called the 9 line, which basically deals with China.
Yep.
And because I guess it's being depicted in the Barbie movie, is the reason why they're banning it. Because apparently there's like this really crudely drawn map in the background.
Yeah.
Or it's her traversing the Barbie world to get to our world. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the feminism or whatnot, which I thought it was like, oh, okay, they're not going to show it because of crazy gender ideology. No, it's because of the 9 line.
Wait, Spencer,
which is this right here.
Spencer, aren't you Filipino or something, dude?
I'm worried that it might be my fault because the 2 longest relationships I've had were with a Vietnamese woman who I'm currently married to and my Filipino girlfriend from high school.
Oh, you have
you
a
know
type,
what? It is
buddy.
your fault. Yeah.
I don't have a type though.
I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you.
The Filipino girl was probably 3'2", and an X-ray, of course, is 7
No,
foot.
she was 5'2". No joke.
Yeah.
But
wow, that was actually somebody you're taller than.
Yeah. It's not hard to find a girl who's shorter than 5'6", man.
All right.
I just ended up marrying an Amazon woman.
Yes. Yes,
But
you
yeah,
did.
the snooze great. So
All right. Hey.
You're gonna
Yeah.
die happy, man, with that broken pelvis.
That's right.
yeah.
That's like the best
wanna
episode
go
of fucking
That's Cyborg
Futurama.
too, baby. Yeah.
1,000 cc's of blood in the pelvis. You lose that, you're done.
Yep.
Maybe it's 2,000. It might be 2,000.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the reason why I'm not showing this film is because of the whole thing with the 9 line.
Well, I mean, it's pretty intense over there in that area. I mean, China is the big monster. So when you go to the other hemisphere, the U.S. is not force projecting over there anymore.
Yeah.
Not the way that we used to.
We have some very weak leadership. It's been degrading over time. Let's just
apparently that leadership likes to do a lot of blow. Just saying.
Okay, my
family members.
Okay,
There's no way of knowing whose cocaine that was.
Okay, all right. This is the only thing we're gonna get
Kamala
political on
Harris's
because
apparent.
I want to tell you guys a funny story because over the whole mysterious white powder issue. So it was like a couple of days ago when they announced it. There's a mysterious white powder found at the White House. My immediate thought is that has to be cocaine.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like a couple days later, it's on the news again.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not sure how this cocaine got into the White House. I'm like, that had to be Hunter Biden's cocaine. And sure enough, he was there that weekend.
My whole thing is like, okay,
I've been
And they got
doubtful the
video
whole
of
time.
him skeezing out during that weekend. There's a video
but
out
I've
there.
been doubtful the whole
Even
time.
when
Because
you're-
cocaine
Breaking
is the
it?
good stuff. He likes crack.
Didn't you guys hear? Oh, sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Like, just like break this down from the perspective of a person who's going to commit a crime. If you're going to bring cocaine into a place, the White House probably not the best not the best place to be like, yeah, I got a party on this trip. But hey, look, if you're gonna do it, sure, you'd be like, okay, it's happening.
Right.
I'm there for the weekend. I'm bringing it. Leaving it there is my issue. I'm like, what the hell, man? What are you thinking?
Well,
about?
he's proven he's pretty forgetful in the past.
Yeah, you left laptops flying, Mark. Come on, bro. So, by the way, Tom has a
Well, they
song.
said they found it near where the vice
One at a time,
president
guys.
parks or something like that.
I was going to just say a reasonable person can be stupid enough to forget their laptop somewhere, not realizing there's something incriminating on it. Just be like, oh crap, I forgot my laptop.
How many laptops, Mark?
That was a psyop. That was a psyop.
Okay.
That was a psyop.
I'm just saying, like in a bubble, a reasonable person can still forget their laptop somewhere.
How many of them?
A reasonable drug user does not leave cocaine in a government facility.
I will give Mark that comment. Okay, the idea behind a druggie leaving his drugs behind is unheard of.
Yeah, and like in a place where if you got caught, it would be very, very.
Or you're
bad.
really
Like,
fucking dumb. All right.
Usually you've got some
Or you-
conscientiousness about that if you're doing.
But
drugs.
wait,
I
you guys aren't understanding. I mean, these are elites, and this guy has plentiful supply. So
Okay,
if you
time
have-
out culture. I just want to talk about the cocaine as a joke, not roll into more politics. So I'm gonna cut you off there and get the super chats.
I
So
mostly
Eric K,
wanted to talk about the comedy of it, which
yeah, that exactly that that's what I was wanting to talk about was the comedy of, oh look there's a white powdery substance that has to be coke. Oh, it turns out it's cocaine. It has to be Hunter's cocaine. We have no ideas who cocaine it is. Mystery.
Bullshit.
No.
Because they have
I know.
cameras.
That's the joke, dude. That's anyway.
My
Eric K for
whole real
$2.
issue with it is how can Hunter be so dumb to leave his drugs behind?
Right, because he is dumb. Eric K for $2. I see Mark brought his on his bitches.
Hey, only JoJo. She's female. Rocky's
Okay, I should probably pre-read this before because it's from the troll.
Right.
By the way, troll, how you doing, man?
Oh,
$5.
wow.
Nothing wrong with Mark having the dogs out.
JoJo, it's okay.
We stare at X-ray girls' puppies all the time.
True story.
Haha, boom.
True story.
JoJo.
All right, WG for $20. So help me to the next panel member who says sus. I will shun you with the power of 1,000.
10,000.
Sorry, 10,000 Amish. Y'all are an old men, damn it. So say bull jive and embrace your age, please. Hashtag keeping it real since the 70s.
We could quote Colonel Sherman Potter and call everything horse hockey.
Oh
Horse
my
hockey.
gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
a double dumbass on you too.
You know what? Stop with all this jocularity at this point. I just want to say.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Little Sherman
What
Potter.
the holy hell is that?
iMav for $4.99. Why must the Jack Show and TNT stream at the same time? I'm going to make an effort to make the next member stream. Yeah, we need to actually start getting those again. So I'll let you know, iMav.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh God, what else do I have on the list? We talked about Indiana Jones a lot. We didn't talk about the alternate endings though.
Oh well, there's an alternate ending right there.
Yeah, and that's alternate. All right,
When you know how to spell Jehovah, but you can't pronounce it.
Jehovah.
Mm-hmm. It's a funny thing about you reading a meme and messing up, and you know.
But I
we
actually
make
can
fun of your.
say Jehovah. Anyway,
It's Yahovah.
Crap, I keep on going into Deckard Cain when I'm trying to do Connery now because it's stupid Diablo.
Hey, I know
I
this
like
guy.
this one, Mark the Cyborg Gigolo.
When he
That's pretty good.
Jehovah starts with an I.
Uh-huh. That's pretty good.
we named the dog Jehovah.
Deckard Cain from Diablo, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, he's like the main.
Oh yeah.
He just sounds like sick Connery. Like Connery is if he's dying or about to cry. Diablo has been hurting Tristram for decades now. We're so happy that you've come to help us out. Like it's just Connery, but he's in distress. I guess.
Yep, distress Connery.
You did that. You
Yeah,
did
but
that
see,
really
Connery
well,
is never
Mark.
that distressed.
Oh wow, check it out.
All right.
Martha Cyborg Gigolo picks up dirty tricks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm less excited about this.
I would say that's got to be the rough trick named Jim.
Yes.
only poor,
If you ever seen Family Guy,
Wow.
and know that he's saying that to Stewie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a whistle or
Wow.
toilet paper on his shirt?
I'm just saying, if you want to do well as a gigolo, you can't be that discriminating as far as your clientele goes. Okay,
Yep.
it's a number.
Very true. Very true. I
and the
often
faster you chip away at a
lament
big
that.
enough chunk of your soul, the sooner you'll stop doing it. You know,
You know what? I'm super serious right now.
I'm sure you are. Brain damaged autist for $2. Howdy Comics and Panel, and he has a balloon with a number one
means-
and another balloon.
And that means this is his very first super chat.
Really?
ever.
That's
Oh
what that
wow!
means?
Well, I've got to
Wow.
do something
oh crap.
really excellent for him, I guess. What are we gonna do?
Celebrate that super chat. Whip it out.
Here we go.
Oh my God, the cock.
Oh,
Why?
she's from my hometown.
Right after we talked about
Me?
Jehovah too.
No, Tatiana Maslany. Tatiana Maslany. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, Tatiana
That's it.
Maslany.
Tatiana Maslany. Yeah.
Yeah,
A buddy of mine's friends.
Completely
I've never met her.
wasted, and she helped.
She's from San Francisco.
No, from Toronto. I know.
Oh,
her
okay.
from Jonathan. He's a nice guy.
You're from
Not
Toronto.
sure he appreciated. Not sure he appreciated that clip.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure.
Epic Mike, that's a penis. It looks like one, doesn't it?
That's right. Epic Mike. Good to see you, bro.
I did hold up Rocky's penis earlier.
What now?
What?
Yeah.
Look, he's got a good one.
No.
Jojo, it's okay. It's okay. We know his dick's great. Jojo, are you finished?
That's what she said.
They're both.
As your dog proceeds to fucking chew your face off.
Oh no! See, Jojo
with no front teeth.
She's territorial, so she'll growl when Rocky gets close to her, or if I try to pick her up when she's comfortable, or even if I'm trying to move her, because sometimes like this is a reclining couch and there's a space in the middle, so sometimes I have to save Jojo from falling into the couch. She's very small. You guys, you have to understand, she's a tiny dog. Very, very little. She's
a poodle.
This is all of her right here. It's not like she keeps going this far. So I found out that why she's growling, the reason she'll even snap at me, is because she thinks I'm moving her because I'm going to get up and leave. So she immediately calms down the second I like settle her and just say, "It's okay, Jojo, it's okay." And often I'll just say, "Jojo, are you finished?" And then she'll just stop growling. She'll be like, "Oh." It's pretty fun.
And that's it.
She's an interesting dog, though, and I think that most people would probably say she's a bad dog. But I mean, I just love her so much.
That's called separation anxiety, and you should.
Well, okay. I guess
not
bad
Rocky.
dog's a relative
That's why we have
term.
two dogs.
Where
Like,
one of my dog's buddy, who has a lot of issues because he was abused. And he's got all sorts of like anxiety and will chew your face off if you're the wrong person. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, Jojo, like, she might snap at you, but she doesn't have incisors. So, like, because her
She's
her
not gonna
adult
really
teeth,
bite.
her adult teeth erupted behind her baby teeth, and the baby teeth didn't fall out. So we had to get her like dental surgery, and it resulted in her not having a lot of teeth, which is also, I think, why she gets as as angry as she does, because she can't really defend herself.
Fair enough. All right.
She has all bark, no bite, because she can't really bite.
Yeah, that'll do it. Chase says, have you heard the about the latest news about Allison Mack? I heard she got out of jail.
Yeah. NX Elemental PVIMOKO Corral cult member.
Who is she?
The chick from the cult, the sex cult thing. Where
Okay. I can't remember what it's called, but
NXVIM.
Smallville.
Nixium.
Anyway, so yeah, she got released after 2 years of a 3-year sentence. I imagine she'll be working in Hollywood in a couple weeks.
Yeah, she'll probably.
She was in prison. I'm sure she was a member of a sex cult there too.
Yeah. I feel like she'll be as minute the strike ends. I mean, she's got a gig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Heron,
this is a. Oh, go.
Hey, Alexandria for $10. It's been a while, Heron. Hope you're doing well. By the way, I like your gun picks. Those are good. She said, "Hey all, quick question: light mode or dark mode?"
Dark mode always, no matter the context.
Yeah, dark
mode.
StreamYard, please.
Oh, actually, wait, Mark. I make right now. I have dark mode StreamYard. You just need an accessibility plugin for your browser.
Jojo, it's okay.
Well, thanks for letting us know now, Cole.
Oh, sorry.
But,
everything I do is in dark mode because I
send me a link to that extension.
Yes.
Culture does everything in the dark.
You need to send me that too. Well, the funny thing about it too, when you're recording, and because the way I have my light set up, like if I go to a light, see, I get fucking blown out because of the fact that this is light. And where if I click on something that's darker, it's like, okay, I have the lighting I want. So,
well, and StreamYard, even when we bring up an article, since I mean your background on StreamYard is typical. I mean, it's black and white, so it's not too bad. But we bring up an article and it's like blindingly white.
Yep,
it's crazy.
I just want to quickly plug Heron of Alexandria inspired a great pun I made on Twitter the other day, because she took a picture of a replica STG-44 that shoots 22. And she's like, I got a replica of this one, but it only fires 22. And it's like on her legs. Like
she does her guns and thighs pictures.
My pun was, we don't plink shame here.
Nice.
I was so proud of that.
That's
I
good.
told X-Ray Girl, she's like, what does that mean? I'm like,
She's never fired a gun before.
I know. So I needed to talk to some Americans about it. Okay, and also, I mean, they're super chatted, so
yeah, she showed the Warhammer one, and I'm like, why is your Warhammer on the outside of the loincloth? I never really got that. I thought, yeah. I always keep mine sheathed. I don't know.
Hey, you know.
But yeah, Heron actually has a rather impressive gun collection, I have to say.
Yes. And she had a Polish saber she showed out there too. It was really cool. A lot of weapons.
I'm not sure I'm going to brave enough to look at a saber. All right.
Okay. Well, you could look at this though. Yeah. So, Battle Dix Galactica.
Oh my god.
So there's Comix as boxing.
Did you really put me on the fucking kid?
Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy. I am the old dude. I'm Lauren Green. Fuck y'all.
Tom is Starbuck. Yeah.
Tom, you look very Starbucky.
Brahma is Apollo. That makes sense. Oh, there's Mad, and there's as Sheba. There's Nick.
Nickweiser.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way,
of course, I'm all the silent.
Boxy was great back in the day. Oh, what was the name of the dog?
Daggett.
Daggett. That's right.
Well,
Daggett.
Now the Daggett was the breed. Muffet was the name.
Muffet was
That's
the
right.
dog.
Yeah.
Rocky's allowed to scratch himself.
And by the way, Epic Mike, you're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
Mike, actually, Epic Mike is amazing.
Yeah, Epic Mike's cool, dude.
I brought up that weird article you wanted me to bring up there, Comix.
Oh, well, we got one history lesson from core member. Karl Marx's sister, since culture looks like Karl Marx, his sister Anya was an Olympic runner in the first modern Olympics. Every Olympics since, she has been honored at the start of every foot race with Anya Marx, get set, go.
All right, before you get there, Heron has another super chat. She says, I'm trying to start a Guns and Thighs to trend. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
You should.
a good trend.
It is a good trend. I think you should try and recruit more women to do that.
Yeah. Recruit some thighs and guns.
Every girl's afraid of my guns, otherwise I get hurt.
You're not loaded. Just fucking.
Daddy knows how to use the gun.
She needs to get comfortable with guns. That's all there is to it. Okay, here's your article, Culture Casino.
This is from Forbes. This is the lawsuit that Comix says, I'm interested in that. And then he just moved along. But Disney's underpaid women by $150 million, according to the latest lawsuit.
All right.
So you're saying they paid women 75 cents on the dollar?
Yes. And it's a lawsuit. This came out right before the holiday. It's like, hey, we're going to have a holiday, so fuck Disney. So here you go, $150 million.
Okay, you need to send me that article. So
I did. I linked it in the chat and the thing.
Private chat? Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's from Forbes. So anytime something comes from Forbes, I'm like, oh, shit, this is real news. But no, this is why I'm saying is Disney's under fire from like a whole lot of different like places. I mean, and this is like the financial people.
Well, the funny thing is that they're the ones that always are constantly screaming girl power, and it's like, and you guys are coming around and doing the whole, let's pay women less. The whole gender pay gap thing. You're making it real. Great job.
Which is ridiculous anyway, because it's not true. But go ahead. You had something to say there, bro.
Oh, I was just gonna say it. I mean, those who cry about it the loudest are always the ones that are the worst about it. Like Hillary Clinton underpaid every woman on her campaign. Elizabeth Warren was accused of the same thing. Kamala Harris was accused of the same thing.
Oh my God.
Women weren't paying women what they said that they would
fucking
be doing.
Funny.
What's the stupid C word with the production company that virtue signaled at a freaking Oscars with a coat that had a bunch of women directors inside of it that she did not hire?
Oh, fuck. Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I'm like, look here, C word. You could have hired any of those fuckers at any point in time, but no.
Guys, we have some scandalous breaking news here.
Whoop it out.
So Shaka Zulu 12 for $5 says, I know I'm risking my life for leaking this information, but the people need to know Heron of Alexandria uses light mode.
Heron also has some weird taste in food, so
yeah,
we're kind of used to some weird takes from Heron.
Follow Heron on Twitter. She's clearly insane.
Yes, that makes her fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
I'm insane too. Follow me as well. I'm Cyborg Mark there, though. There is a Mark the Cyborg, has not tweeted since 2009, but I have to check his mentions because they're all for me.
Oh my God. That poor bastard.
I have to say that people in the chat are very cognizant of the fact that as long as it's not Bud Light mode, we're good.
Yep.
Yeah. You didn't care about that story. It's fine.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fine, I'll bring it back up again.
See, look, there's many. Oh. Yeah, so they're getting this gender discrimination lawsuit to the tune of $150 million filed on the Friday before this story came out. They targeted this for a Monday release when nobody should have been paying attention. And it talks about the women employed there were shortchanged because of Disney's practice of asking new hires about their pay history. Wow. So they built a case against themselves.
Last I checked, you're not really allowed to do that.
Yeah. Dude, Disney does shit you're not supposed to do all the time. In fact, a lot of major corps do. And I blame Mark because he's playing a video game instead of talking to us.
I've been playing a video game the entire show.
Oh,
he was playing a video game before we even went live.
I can put
He's been playing a video game on every show I've ever been on.
That's me joking, Mark. This is not a serious. Oh, God.
Well, you asked for it.
Hey, by the way,
oh my God,
Final Fantasy 14.
Hey, Mark,
at like 10 FPS.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Skyrim still looks better.
And Final Fantasy 14? I mean, maybe. It's a different type of game. This is an MMO.
Oh, there you go.
Do you know why I'm not a big fan of this game?
Why?
14 or the series in general?
No. Well, I mean, just the series. Because so what you're doing now, you're gonna have to pause, hit 74,000 buttons, then do something, then hit 74,000 buttons.
Battle, dude.
Say again.
Literally just completed the battle. I touched a total of 3 buttons.
Whatever.
You're so
old. You.
Yeah, he's an old man. WG for $10.
Yeah, I just saved a little kid from captivity.
It didn't work out.
Brother,
I mean, it's
man.
not a little kid, it's
Just
a
like
lot
the movie.
Hang on. This is actually a super chat, Mark.
Yeah, this is a super chat for you, Mark. Mark,
okay,
brother,
cool.
man, you are a Canadian. So where in the name of maple syrup is the flannel shirt, sled dog, and wood paneling background?
I mean, I do have a flannel shirt. I could wear it on another show. It's upstairs though, and X-Ray Girl's sleeping. So
he says, "Help make what I'm seeing make sense, man."
I mean, paneling.
I have a Bayonetta poster here and a Berserk poster there, so that's kind of it's my nerdy wood paddling, I suppose. It's metal, they're disc plates, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to the wood paneling. I just also lumber's expensive right now, so not sure it would be worth it. Also, wouldn't be great for sound deadening, wood bounce stuff.
Jason's got a bit of wood paneling.
Or maybe you could do.
I don't have any problem. I got wood paneling everywhere.
Hey, yeah, look at that. Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. It's all over.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah,
is it good for deadening sound? You'd figure that would be echoing.
He's in a wooden bunker. He learned nothing from the 3 Little Pigs.
I guess so. That ceiling looks really low, though, right?
It's actually kind of open. This is the floor from upstairs, so it's not too bad. I mean, as long as I'm here with the microphone, I don't have too much bounce.
Ah, cool.
Yeah,
there you go. So what do you guys think of all the interesting rumors that are kind of brewing around Indiana Jones 5 with I guess how they we're gonna have Indy stay in the past and die? Or actually, not just die, but just stay in the past and apparently write something on the dial, which was a message to himself to basically save his son. Did you guys hear about that?
That's a new one. I haven't heard about that one.
Oh, let me pull the article up from Bounty in the Comics then.
I haven't heard about the message.
I heard
because
we knew he was going to stay in the back in the past.
Never mentioned.
Because the original idea was he was going to die, or the younger Indy, they were going to meet. Older Indy was going to meet younger Indy. Younger Indy was going to die, erase Indy, Fleabag was going to become Indy, and that was
I never bought that. I know that was a Doomcock rumor. I honestly I felt like that one was like so fucking egregious it couldn't be real.
I
don't
would
know.
have said a lot.
My 2023 bingo card is fill in the blank. I don't put anything past anybody now any day.
Yeah, that's the thing. The standard set so that they can fuck something up harder than you can possibly perceive.
I know, but it's like there's stuff there's stuff that, like with the leaks that came out on Reddit, and I was reading those, like those have to be real. Even the Rise of Skywalker stuff, I was like, those leaks have to be real, and they were. But some of the stuff is like so fucking outrageous, like the whole idea of killing Indy in the past and then erasing his future self. It's like, dude, that if they actually did that, people would fucking riot.
I mean, and then like I heard that there were the rumor with that one is that she was going to then be digitally inserted to a bunch of scenes from the original movies, and I'm like, oh, would the justification for that be that he's in the past? Tell her, all right, look, you're gonna have to hook up with this woman named Willie in China. Then you're going to fly to India. You're not going to land in India. The plane must crash. Oh, also, you got to make friends with a really awesome Chinese kid. You'll know he'll pickpocket you. You know, the same thing that happened with the kid that follows you.
Teddy.
It would be the weirdest. Like it wouldn't make any sense.
That sounds like a plant more than anything else.
Yeah, but consider how much had to be reshot once those rumors started circulating. I mean, there's a reason why this movie cost $329 million.
True.
Because they had to reshoot a lot of it.
Oh, can I add perspective to that real quick?
Sure, culture.
So, Disney, because of the UK film credits, will likely collect somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 million to offset that exorbitant budget, because the UK does that for films, which is what they recently did for the bologna sausage known as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Is that why Pinewood Studios is booked up for like the next decade, apparently?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the way film credits work, you're not actually, it's not
tax write-off.
It's a tax write-off, but it's basically the way it really works is like a rebate. It's technically not anything having to do with taxes. What it does is if you spend $100,000 in a town in like say in the state of Missouri, film tax incentives are let's say 35%. So if you spend $100,000 in the state, then 35% of it gets counted back, and you can it's number math and this and you're basically not having, well, I guess it does have a little bit to do with taxes, but it's
entirely the tax base, dude.
Because we've had the debate here for a number of years, because Missouri's had it, Missouri's not had it, and the way Missouri's the way Missouri's incentive works is a little bit different than actually just like a tax credit. So I'm old. Never mind.
Okay, let me just do this math for you. So on this is because I did the video on this today. So Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness would not have made any money. They would have lost $4 million if they hadn't had the tax incentive that was granted to them courtesy of the taxes of the people in the UK. And you know what Disney didn't do? But they did for China. They gave them a thank you. Did you see a thank you from Disney for Multiverse of Madness to the folks in the UK? No, you did not.
I didn't stay for the credits. That'll always be my excuse, because it's true. As soon as the credits roll, I fucking get up and leave. I don't give a shit about post-credit scenes anymore.
Nobody
really don't. All right, the Scooper Explained. This is coming from WDW Pro.
Yeah,
Indiana Jones was going to be lying in the grass with Archimedes there, but he was going to convince Phoebe Waller-Bridge to leave him there and save Teddy and the others and go back through time. They could not take him with them, and he would give her his hat and tell her it's time for her adventures, yada, yada, yada. Okay. She and Teddy would then go with the other gentleman that are there and then attempt to escape through a very specific action sequence, and they would go through the time rift. He continued. And then you find that she, after going back in the original date, that she would have learned her lesson in, the final scene, where she is no longer out to make money off of the artifacts, but instead she's working to get them into museums where they belong. Now, the other thing, too, this is where things get interesting, is that, and then there was going to be a second appearance where after the fade out, Indiana Jones is back with Archimedes in the past, and turns out that he had a clever plan the entire time. And that was that he tells Archimedes that he will explain the Dial of Destiny to him and tell him all kinds of secrets if only he will write one specific message on there, which is basically the message to his son. And he has him do so in a language that Indy knows. Yeah. The message then, basically is that he says that if he goes to war, he'll die.
Okay.
See, I haven't heard this one before. This is
I was on this videos that they're breaking down here this morning, because I got up at 5 a.m. so I could do this recording with Pro. All of what they've said here and quoted is true. And not only that, it's not just, this isn't a rumor.
This actually sounds way more plausible.
Exactly, because this was legit.
Well, it sounds almost like it leads to what I was told was basically referred to as the Back to the Future ending too.
Exactly right. That, in fact, if the article went on to describe it, Tom, it's exactly what you're talking about, and that was the greater revelation that was revealed during the course of that video. And I the reaction to it was like incredibly negative. Nobody wanted that ending, and nobody wanted the ending we got. There was no way to do what they did and get to something satisfying. But at least we know for sure that the ending, there were 3 different endings. The ending we got was the best they could come up with,
which is pretty fucking sad.
Yeah,
I love this comment from Tree Rock Creations. He says, when people say they had to reshoot a lot, are they referring to reshooting Indiana Jones, the character, a lot?
No, he only got shot once.
It felt like they shot him a lot.
Right here, by the way.
Nice.
Right here.
Yeah.
Well, he had a magic bullet similar to the Kennedy assassination. It moved.
Easy, bro. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
It moved.
It moved into his shoulder. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah,
Sir.
went from his chest to his shoulder.
Like where Culture was pointing was pretty central, though. Almost like that.
Right here.
That's where he got shot the first time, and then they moved it.
Well, there was another thing to that. Recently, they did an interview with the actress that played Marion, and I thought this was pretty interesting because she was talking about how the original script, and this is what she heard from Spielberg, is that the Indy film was going to be about her and Indiana Jones together doing something. But apparently when he left the project, they pitched the script at that point, and that's when they came up with this new one where it had Phoebe Waller-Bridge instead of Marion.
Everything changed in 2019. True story.
Was it 2019 or 2020 when
2019.
he left? Is that when he left?
Okay. 2019.
Who was it that left? Sorry,
Spielberg.
Oh, Spielberg. Okay.
Yeah, he had a script ready for the next Indiana Jones.
And in the video I did today, I'm like, this took 5 different writers' involvement to crack it after 2019, which is why we ended up with a bullshit film. That's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Do we know why Spielberg left at that point?
Fucking Kathleen Kennedy and her.
Sounds like, he had Marion and him together, Indiana Jones together, and obviously probably not killing Mutt and all that business.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was on board with all that shit.
Yeah, and again, cunty is. I'm saying bad words here because.
Well, and I think KK might have swung her dick around. I posited this morning or earlier today, I should say.
Yep.
I think considering she had been the sub all these years, she'd said, well, guess what, Steven? I'm the boss and this is what I want.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well,
fuck you. I'm out of here.
I tell you what, you take your coffee delivery service.
Dude,
I'm going to leave.
Oh my God. That makes so much sense, Tom, because you remember there's a clip where he talks about Kathleen Kennedy and how, she's supposed to be like the note taker, and she would pipe in saying, well, why does Indy need to get the girl? And that would make sense that all these years later, now that she's like, I'm the fucking boss, you have to do what I say. And he was like, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, Tom, how many times have you on Midnight's Edge played that?
Well, and again, it might not even got that spicy, but you know, I mean, she might have just kept pushing the idea that she's the boss now, and however she wants it goes. And he was probably like, I just can't rectify this idea of him and Marion not being together and all this business and stuff like that.
Wasn't the official story at the time? I want to say that I remember something about Spielberg saying that his style had changed enough that he didn't feel like he could direct it again. Because remember, he said when Crystal Skull came out, he said he had to relearn how to make the movies that way because the style had evolved. And in this one, I want to say that I saw some kind of an article.
Yeah, but that almost sounds like an excuse to me because.
Yeah, it kind of did. At the time, I was like, that doesn't sound like him.
Well, because he always felt Indiana Jones was done, right? I mean, he literally found the Holy Grail. He rode off into the sunset with his friends and dad. That was it. Exactly. As far as he was concerned, Indiana Jones was done. George had kept bugging him for years and 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 years to make another one. And I truly think the idea was Steven directs the first one, sets it up so then George could take over for the second and third film, and the third film would have Mutt taking over for Indiana Jones. That never happened because the reaction to Crystal Skull was so vapid, or whatever you want to call it. That
it was bad because they moved on to the same thing. Tom, you've described it perfectly. They moved on from the religious artifacts to the science bullshit.
Yep. Real quick, there's a couple comments I want to get from Billy Badass real quick. He says, if you don't believe that Kennedy didn't want him dead, you are vastly underestimating her. I didn't say I didn't believe that. I didn't say that. I said I have a hard time believing they would completely erase Indiana Jones. That's what I have a hard time believing. Her wanting him dead, I completely buy, because of the various endings that we've already kind of previously talked about.
There's some weight to the whole story because when they asked Karen Allen about the whole thing, she pretty much, I don't know exactly how she put it, but she had kind of confirmed that she didn't come in until way late in the game. And she had commented on something like the writing was, to her, the writing before always revolved around Indy and Marion. And this,
well, I completely believe that at the initial cut he dies at the end.
It didn't kind of make sense.
I believe they reshot that because it probably didn't play well.
Well, and the other ending I was told about, which I was referred to as the Back to the Future ending, matches up with that because what happens is he wakes up, but he's not in his bed with a bandage like he is in the version I was told. He wakes back up in his chair like he is in the beginning of the movie. And it's like we're back at the beginning of the movie.
Nothing ever happened.
Exactly, like nothing ever happened. And he looks over at the fridge because the bottle's gone and everything like that. And he looks over at the fridge and the papers are gone. And then Marion comes in and she's like, she doesn't say anything about him not having groceries, but she does have groceries or whatever. But she says something along the lines of, Mutt's coming over for dinner. You better get cleaned up or something like that. To where it didn't still alive.
And then Biff is outside buffing the car.
And Biff is outside buffing the car. And then Doc Brown rolls up and he's like, Indy, we got to do something about your kid. He's no longer Shia LaBeouf.
And then Indy looks at the camera and goes, now let's do the Scooby-Doo ending.
Does Leah Thompson become his mother?
Yes.
Okay.
And he fucks her.
Okay, I wasn't going to go that far.
No. But that was kind of the only difference was that he wakes up in the chair instead. Meds. All that kind of stuff. I am technically on pain.
Mark heard that and came right back.
Yeah, I was just, I've been here the whole time. I was just eating.
Yeah, you've been listening to that. He's like, okay.
Seriously, have popcorn.
Indiana Jones
just fighting it out.
For $2 says, oh my God, the rooster.
That's right. We got a couple of those we can play because I'm going to bring this in.
Oh my God, the cock.
That's a turkey, not a.
And then there was Nick. Hey, Nick. And Nick was doing dad stuff tonight, doing good things.
Yes. Are they going to come? Yes.
Yes.
You guys saw what ET tonight, right?
Yeah, they saw ET tonight at the local park in our area. They do a Thursday night movie night, and they had never seen ET. And my girlfriend and I decided, no, let's take him to ET. And they not only did they love it, the small one almost cried because she thought ET was gonna die.
Kathleen Kennedy is going to remake ET. And
Dude, Joe, please.
Somebody kick Jason off the stream.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's the only That's the only franchise she's got left to ruin.
Yeah. Well, that's not even a Disney
film,
one,
though. Yeah, it's not Lucasfilm.
So is that still
Steven Steven will Universal. Yeah, he'll never make a sequel to that. Yeah.
No, he won't. But dude,
please God, no.
Yeah, right. The alien looks and walks still like amazing. Like it's
Independence Day was
amazing how believable the alien is. It's like, holy crap, this is still great to watch. So yeah, no, fantastic. Seriously, it was fantastic just to read.
It's a good wholesome film.
Steven buried that special edition as fast as he released it, and most people don't realize it. So yeah,
where he replaced all the guns with walkie-talkies.
Yeah, that only lasted for one time.
And he admitted it was a mistake.
Good.
Yeah, but I feel like it has ruined the movie's legacy. Yeah, no, I still, because every time I bring it up, because it's been released multiple times on Blu-ray and 4K, and everybody always asks, or says, I'm not going to buy it unless it's the real version. I'm like, well, it has been the real version. They just,
to answer Mecha J's question, they did have guns, and the reason why, and now I can't say that I was ever seen.
See,
I remember it's when the government thought they had the kids corner before they all flew together. They had the guns in their hand, and they're
that's what I'm
like
saying.
that.
Like,
so
Mecha J saying that. Yeah, that's my whole point. Is he's only done it once. It was only released once. It's never been released again. But since then, people are so like he fucked up the legacy of that movie so bad. Because people like when they re-released it last year for the anniversary, people didn't go see it, but they went to see Jaws.
Yep.
I just want to
real quick. Is it Red Tails a Lucasfilm movie? I don't think it's.
Yeah,
is it actually Lucasfilm? I know that he produced it.
No, it was
like,
right.
Yeah, I'm making Red Tails. Fuck you.
It was actually
making a movie.
It was actually right before they sold to Disney. FYI.
Yeah.
I guess they could remake Radioland Murders.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, in the chat,
Man.
Somebody said something in the chat I wanted to respond to. Oh, Darius says, "Here comes, here he comes to snuff the rooster." No, bro, I'm good.
Can we get an Alice in Chains version of that?
All right,
that was Alice in Chains that did that.
Well, this is what I was referring to.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was referring to, and yeah, I read the Bounding article. I didn't read this one, but yeah,
this has been confirmed in 5 different spots now.
Well, yeah, I mean, she fucking said that in an intervio.
Yeah,
she's got zero fucks to give too, because she's been pretty much out of the industry for a while. And the funny thing is when they came in, when she was in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, she hadn't been acting in like 10 years. She was working at a fucking toll booth.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I remember them doing this big story about it. Now, since Crystal Skull, she's been acting on and off regularly, but like I think she's kind of semi-retired now. But yeah,
I can't believe
it's hard to make a living at that stuff.
Yeah,
I would have been fine with her in that movie over The Bridge.
Well, this is the movie I'd like to see them remake. Dirty Harry, next. Go ahead and make my day.
I'd have to get a weave like CC.
You look beautiful with hair there, bro.
You do.
Hair, and
that's the biggest piece of iron you've had in your hands in your entire life.
While it's really brand that most people make fun of me for because apparently they're kind of trash, I have a Taurus 8-round 357 Magnum.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I about it because it was a good price. I'm like 8 rounds. And look at this thing; it's amazing. It's like totally
dirty. They feel nice and stiff in your hands.
But
yeah,
I've got a Taurus. I like them.
Tons of fun to shoot.
I was looking at the Taurus Judge, and I was reading reviews on it. It's like, oh, they're talking about how shitty this gun is.
What's wrong with them?
Basically, it has a nasty habit of misaligning.
Oh,
so I end up buying the Smith & Wesson Governor instead.
Yeah,
my Taurus hadn't had any issues.
All that's missing from that image of Brahma is the right pair of socks.
That's right.
I'm not even wearing one.
One.
Hey, Zelashi.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't do pairs of socks, man. I only have one.
Yeah, Zelashi agrees with me, saying the judge is junk. Yeah, that's what I read.
Mark, the sock joke is deep lore for Brahmabull's milk, but
okay.
Yeah, he milks.
That's how we filter the milk.
Well,
how did that joke even come about?
I've been doing that since high school.
I'm pretty sure I actually said it at the end of a stream one night on Rumble.
Socks, guys. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brahma did that to himself.
Your mom will know, and it chafes.
Well, I mean, it gets all crusty and stuff.
Well, I mean, like, if you want to use a sock, you're throwing it out. Like, understand that you're using it as if it's a tissue.
What if it's like an old sock with holes in it?
Yeah, you're throwing it out afterwards. You still can't.
My mom spent hundreds of dollars.
If it's got holes in it, it's not going to catch everything.
Well, sorry. I'm sorry, Brahma. I forgot about your production.
Shotgun, like it's probably going to catch.
I mean,
now, see, he brings out his box.
If we're bottling it, we can't have these production issues.
Coffee filters just
Mark, do you
mustard.
throw away the other sock?
Oh boy.
No. I basically I get 2-for-1 socks.
I'm saying you use it for round 2, don't you?
One, get one
I don't
free.
buy socks that are coated to the foot. Like I know there are some that are sort of shaped, but I don't care. My existing foot hardly. The original plan.
That's a video I think for you is you going shopping and saying, "Oh look, socks 2-for-1."
Yeah,
and
he
then
just
get
basically
home,
doesn't have to buy as many
both
as we
of them
do.
out and be like, "This one's the right one."
Hey, Mark. That'd be great. Mark, I'm gonna drop the review for your movie here in the next week. So.
You watched it?
I did. It's
right.
I was actually surprised. You were. Well, I guess you still are a talented person. So well done.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you used to be talented. That's awesome.
Well, I mean,
it's interesting because you get to see Mark with 2 legs.
Yeah, it is. That's true. That's what I mean. He used to be more whole. I mean,
you're just like, holy shit! Like, yeah.
Tell me about more holes.
Well, it's not a bonus hole, Nick. Calm down.
What is in that movie? The attack I fire most frequently, like the most times, is a right leg roundhouse kick because that's always been my best kick. I no longer have that leg.
But now
I lost my best weapon, or I turned it into like a metal bat.
So no sequel, I guess.
Well, probably not. Honestly, I was actually talking to. Do you guys know Frank Zanka? He wrote a comic called Destiny Aurora. He was on my interview show a couple days ago. I think we haven't uploaded it to Human Cyborg Relations yet. But one of the things that he was talking about with me was or that I was talking about with him, was that I don't really have any interest in doing any more narrative stuff like writing a story, because I sort of think that I honestly believe that I think everyone has at least one story in them that they could probably write out and it might be pretty good, and I kind of think maybe I did mine. And I had a bunch of ideas for like sequels in that, or like the spin-offs and things like that in that universe, because I sort of originally conceived it as a comic book universe, which I mean, you could kind of see that it's almost a superhero story, but one where the guy's got no powers and he's just basically kind of a crazy kid who thinks he's a hero. And I never really got past the outline phase of one, and none of the stories ever really came together in the way that I thought the first one does.
You should try doing like a graphic novel with it.
I mean, like that's probably what I would do if I was ever going to revisit it, and because it would be interesting to feel like, well, now that I actually know a bunch of artists and stuff, and could maybe get a crowdfund going for it.
Office girls like, so Batman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of no, like this guy's a murderer. Like,
it's you have to watch the film. I'm going to do a review. I will convince you to find it somewhere. Mark will probably have to release it on, like, I don't know.
What's the name of the film?
Fear the Reaper. Like the Blue Oyster Cult song.
Fear the Reaper.
You can look it up on IMDb.
I'll grab it.
Someone on IMDb changed my name there to Mark the Cyborgs. That's like
nice.
I was like,
you are solidified the Borg.
I was like, I didn't realize people could change my name on IMDb. I thought that was like an official credit.
I actually did an entire hour on this on Live from the Bunker. IMDb is like Wikipedia. If you have an account, if you have a login, you can go in and you can do anything to anybody's stuff. I mean, you have to keep an eye on this stuff. Now, IMDb Pro is a little different but the regular IMDb stuff, that's wild, wild west. Anybody could do anything there.
Yeah,
It's just as reliable as Wikipedia.
I signed up to IMDb Pro for like a week because I wanted to change the name of the actress who plays the villain, because she used to be in a bunch of other films that she doesn't really want to associate her real name with anymore. And she liked the role she did in my movie so much, like she still will like call me and tell me to like write a sequel or something like that, or do something with her where she can bring it back because she really enjoyed playing it. She wanted to use her real name for the credit, but on IMDb, it automatically got credited as her stage name. So I had to like do some things to change that, and that's why when like it was a few months later, I saw that I was credited as Mark the Slumber. I'm like, who did that?
Well, the really funny thing is you can go and look up YouTube channels like in IMDb, like Heel versus Babyface. It has an IMDb. So does Neurotic, so does FNT.
That came out. That came out of somebody had put together.
Or July. They both have all been credited on IMDb. Yeah.
Well, and what happened with that is somebody had done that, just kind of that Wikipedia thing, and they had come in and created all of these listings for all these channels and made Jeremy Griggs at Geeks and Gamers the producer on all of them.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, now wait a minute. How does that work exactly? And then Jeremy was like, how am I the producer on all of these shows? I didn't start these. But it's a mess. I mean, I've got an IMDb listing myself for all of the stuff that most of the stuff we do here, and past stuff, the movies that I've made. But
so I'm watching it. Mark, did you make a prison movie? Is that what that is? Is that gay sex prison movie? Or okay, that's different.
No, I mean it is kind of, because the narrative framing of it is that the hero, the kind of guy in the what now will probably be looked at as like an Antifa outfit in the middle there, in prison, telling the story of how he ended up in prison to his cellmate. So it's kind of like a bit of out of chronological order storytelling, but only in the sense of like, hey, it's me telling the story. One of the reasons I use that device too is so that the weird sort of surreal stuff that happens, because basically the idea is that it starts out kind of as a horror movie, and as the character moves through the story, his life starts getting more and more like a video game, and he's like self-insert, sure. And
by the way,
whatever. But at the same time, like the idea is that as the movie starts getting more surreal as it goes, and it being a narrative frame where it's like, hey, this is the person telling the story. I have a little bit of leeway to like, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe it happened a little bit differently. Maybe there wasn't as many guns involved in this one fight, and that's why he didn't die.
Well, and not only that, but Mark actually gets injured in the film. You can actually see it. He gets hurt.
Yeah, no, there's a blooper reel on the DVD. Dude, I don't know if you watched that, but it's me getting hurt for like 10 straight minutes.
Yeah, he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good time.
It's got a 6.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb. Yeah. There's a whole lot of mainstream films that don't get that.
I wanted it to climb to be higher than Last Jedi, but I think the Last
Hey,
Jedi,
I might.
That's funny.
I tell you what, I'll fill in my review on IMDb after I do my video review.
So Deleted Scene says, Jason's right. On my IMDb, it says I was an electrician on last year's MTV's Music Awards.
Nice.
Well, and the way this works, basically what you've got is because people, there are multiple people with the same name, right? Like Michael J. Fox.
There's another one of me in California.
Yeah. Michael J. Fox. The J is made up. He's Michael J. Fox because there's another Michael Fox.
Right.
Michael Keaton. His actual name is Michael Douglas.
Right.
But there's already a Michael Douglas, so his stage name is Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I'm listed in there. I can even show you here.
Is Jason Douchekinu?
No. I'm on there. But you see here, I've got a little Roman numeral 3 next to my name, which means I'm the third Jason Hunt that was entered into IMDb. There's 2 others that were already in there.
You actually were handsome at one point in time.
Yeah, well, that's in the before
time. You look like you're like.
Wait a second, aren't Jason Hunt? Are you in Mission Impossible?
Are you related to Ethan Hunt?
No.
All right.
And I'm not related to
Michael.
Not related to
What about Real Big Hunt?
No.
Okay.
Who owns the Kansas City Chiefs? That family. No.
Oh.
But any of these. So what happens is when somebody finds that they've got a credit on their IMDb listing, is like, well, I didn't work on that project. More than likely, what it is they've put the name in and didn't pick the right one. So if I get a credit for working on something that I didn't work on, more than likely it's another Jason Hunt that's supposed to be on that crew getting the credit, and I get it instead. So this kind of stuff happens a lot. So if Deleted Scenes actually gets a credit for working on the MTV Movie Awards, it's probably because somebody else with the same names actually was on the crew, and somebody wasn't paying attention when they updated the IMDb listing.
Right.
Now we should go and commandeer the royalties. There's a new cricket back.
I didn't get my paycheck for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Brahma's introducing his new cricket.
Well, I stepped away from
like
it, but I was trying to explain how some of this got started too. But
oh wait, hey, Tom, do you have a new song for us?
Maybe in a bit, but like this whole IMDb thing, because we were part of it in a couple other YouTube channels that had actually interviewed people with actual IMDb credits.
Okay.
So somebody ended up, because you can't just make, because what Jason's talking about is you can't just make a profile or whatever. You have to be a certain
IMDb pro
member or whatever. And then
you do.
So somebody went and made us and a few other people in our communities a thing, and then somebody went in and fucked with them all.
Yeah.
And that's where the Jeremy Griggs thing came in. So I went and tried to fix a bunch of them. But so there's some of us who have legitimate IMDb's and some of us who don't. It's so it's crazy right now.
Let me say this though, because if I'm putting together, say when I was putting together listings for the shows that we do here, a number of the people who are our hosts or reporters, they didn't have IMDb listings. So when I'm putting together the credits, they'll say, this person doesn't have an IMDb credit. Do you want us to create one? And I can say yes, and it'll generate an IMDb listing for, say, McKenna when she was hosting Salacious Crumbs. She didn't exist in the database before I put that show in. And so here, the host, McKenna Riley doesn't list on IMDb. Do we create it? So I can go in as I'm doing this, and I can create IMDb credits for people who don't already have them. And if there's somebody who already has a listing, like say Tim Harvey, he's my co-host on H2O, I got to make sure that I'm picking the right one, because there's more than one Tim Harvey in the IMDb database too. So and let's say it's like Wikipedia. Anybody can go in and jack with it.
That's crazy. I have a fairly unique mix of a French first name and an Italian last name. There's two of me that I know of in the world, and someone still changed my fucking name on IMDb. But at the same time, X-Ray Girl doesn't like people know my real name as much. If you watch the movie, though, you will know my real name.
Wait, can I show it off again? Because it's on here.
Yeah, no, my real name isn't a secret, so I don't really I'm not too worried.
But I just want to say that this film is worth watching. By the way, so I can't wait to review it on the channel, because you deserve it, Mark.
Well, I just
would, and I did.
I just on my locals, I'd had it on there before, but on my locals, there's a supporters only post that's $2 for my locals for a month, and it's a Google Drive link, so it's not like if you subscribe there, you can always go and watch, but you got to be subscribed. No, just download it. Theoretically, someone could download it and then send it to someone else. I don't really care, but
fair enough.
That's my plug.
But it's a good film. I mean, it's worth watching. It's not like you're watching
So who's the better actor, him or Matt?
Well, Matt was playing a lampshade, so I think that's a harder character to play.
So it took him a minute. Playing a borderline autistic serial killer kid. So yeah, as much as people will absolutely be like, "Oh, this is a self-insert," and I'm like, "Well, I mean, kind of. I have never killed anybody."
Well, wait a minute. I don't believe that's true. You're in the military, but I know this much.
I'm a medic, and I've never been deployed into a combat environment. So
sure,
Matt's been killing people.
Hey, it's fine. Matt is played a lampshade and a table, and I think that kind of ability That's hard to do.
Yeah,
It really is.
Tables both make society worth living in, man.
They do. Joe for 199 says sports ball. Lamar Hunt's family owns the Chiefs.
Wow, Joe.
Wow.
Yay. I mean, yeah. I mean, they own the Hunt's ketchup thing. The ketchup Hunt's thing. The Hunt's ketchup thing. What is that called? Ketchup.
I don't think that's the same Hunt's.
That's not the same family. That's not the same Hunt family.
Who's the Hunt's family? I mean, the Hunt's family. Is that the Steelers folks? Who owns the fucking Hunts?
Wow, we must be tired because culture's trying to make
no
puns.
sense.
Yeah.
Tired.
So, Deletion says, would YouTube streams constitute an IMDb credit?
Yes.
Just curious.
Yes.
Yeah. All like I said, most of our shows are listed on IMDb. I got to update them, but they're on there.
Well, like I'm DMing here in the background. Like I'm pretty sure of the exact moment when we got ours. Like, and I said, because like at first someone brought it to my attention at that time. It kind of started. Somebody had done one for Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, and us. Because we all kind of crossed over anyway.
Didn't all that happen right after Gina got fired?
Well, that was part of it too. It was before that though. See, that was when somebody went in and fucked with it though, Jason.
Oh no, but I mean, I remember being able to go in there way back in the day before I even had a channel.
Holy shit! Somebody actually added the Monday Meltdown to my IMDb.
No.
Yeah, there's some people who actually do God's work, but sometimes there's people.
Well,
who
the thing is, like, none of my other streams are on there. So we have Monday Meltdown, there, Thursday Night Throwdown, and then of course Yelling at Park.
You should be on Friday Night Tights because that's one of the other ones
I
got. Yeah, I was gonna say I was on that one too.
Well, I've got a sneak peek of Mark's new movie.
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah. All right, shake it.
Is it called Out My Balls?
That was
my dog ate my balls.
That looks
never has that.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks pretty pleasured by it. If you look at his face,
Yeah, he's looking good. It's a nice smile. That's a nice smile.
Culture. You said about those legs.
Oh yeah, this is Clay Thompson did this.
You know what? I don't think that's what Heron's referring to, but okay.
No, I don't either.
Look, that's a wonderful ancient Nord Warhammer. That's all I have to say about that.
A lot of
I don't know how the fart got through all that hair, but okay.
I think, right? You think all that hair would hold back the fart
by a lot.
Yeah, that was.
Man, I think there are people here I don't like very much.
What?
You.
What? ET for a modern audience.
Oh no.
I was like, what did they? Oh, never mind.
Did they really make ET darker too?
Oh
yeah,
it looks like it. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, core members. Yeah. We got some good memes sitting out there.
No, we should get to them.
Yeah.
Oh, should we do that?
Yeah, we should do that.
I mean,
you're
by the way, we're not going to do a Rumble exclusive tonight. Or Rumble cut over. I need to get some sleep, so I'm pretty good to call it like around 11. So
yeah, I mean, I was up at 5.
Comics is old.
Comix Division.
Were you on somebody else's channel? Are you cloud chasing on that?
WW Midnight. Sorry, not 11.
WW Midnight Pro.
Yeah,
Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, no, okay. And we were talking about the story I talked about earlier, telling you it was on that with it, the butt crack at the morning time thing. It was early.
The call culture, the space cowboy.
And somebody called it against
the weave of love.
She's actually in the other room. Or we're good.
Yeah. All right.
Penis gagging you with entertainment. Oh my god, the cow. Oh my god. Oh my god, la cucaracha, god, la cucaracha. Oh my god.
Huge.
Oh my god, the cock.
He's redneck fingering us right now.
For what?
What the hell?
I don't know.
So core member dropped this on us
for only 2 minutes.
Yeah, toward the end of the last show, and that's just
very violating.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God, the
It's
weave
like-
cock.
It's like he's
It's a
got a
leaf cock.
sack on his chin.
It
No,
does.
those are labia.
It's exactly what it is. And then
chicken
I had
labia.
mentioned something about get thee behind me, sheep fucker.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I said, no, don't get behind me. And so Gumby Spawn, this was during the week. Gumby Spawn it was a pineapple on pizza thing between me and 70s. So
I've got something for that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Silent Bob Strikes Back.
I live animals.
So this is from lovely Sherry. A father of 23 kids only did it at night because he thought the sperm was sleeping.
Well, there you go.
I know it sounds dumb, but think about it. They little humans, just like us, they got to sleep.
How do you not learn that lesson after like number 4?
Wow,
look at that
here's
amazing
culture.
family.
There's Reuben.
Number 4, like a
four is
shark
like,
on
hey, wait,
roids.
There's like 2 of me in this. How
That's
not-
Jennifer Lawrence.
how am I not?
Well, she was the firstborn.
I was definitely the firstborn.
How
And
am I-
Culture's there twice.
I know.
I'm
How
there
am I
twice, too.
twice there? I don't get it.
Dude.
See Horny Alf in the background, too.
There's
Yeah, I got
there's
horny
20
out
off.
holding
Wow,
on
how
to me.
does
And
Geary
Oh,
do
Bugs
Tickle
is
Trunk.
me.
There's Tickle Trunk.
I
There's
thought
Sherry
Geary-
herself.
I thought Geary was born out of like a mushroom cloud.
That's
Could be
pretty
wrong.
cool. It's possible. Oh, Carrie Smith too. Oh wow, you get around.
Round, round, get around.
I
he
thought
gets
they were
around.
sleeping.
Oh God!
Former
this is
talk show
great.
was kicked off plane following hysterical unhinged rant.
From
Can't you
Kevin
see the
McGinnis.
toxicity in here? Man claimed. That's what's his name from G4, right?
Sessler, Adam
Oh,
Sessler.
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 Gavin
Yeah.
McGinnis, although because he's cracker wasted weirdness, but that's fine.
Yes.
All right.
It's so badass when men stand in front of things they've destroyed. So you've got Iron Man, you've got John Wick, and if you got the Joker, and then you've got Philip Waller-Bridge.
That is one of the best ones I've seen in the last year.
Digital
Oh my God.
Remnant wins
Digital
the
Remnant.
internet tonight.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
that was
That's
good.
fantastic.
That was great.
Holy shit.
Here's Indiana Morse and the Little Flash. From there, that's good.
I like him, by the way.
Brandon's got a new show he's starting on Rumble, so go
Yeah,
find the Brandon Morse
tomorrow.
over there and sub to him.
It's weird. I didn't get an invite yet.
Well, that's because
Well-
culture, you tell everybody every time you're on somebody's channel all the time.
That's called
It's also
promotion.
probably
all
because
the time.
it's at the
Yeah.
same time that you're doing a show.
So this is culture making a point. So I was getting around to this, and then did you know I was on WGW Pro's show, and then I was going to do that, and then I had dinner with Gary, and then I was on Midnight's Edge 4,000 or 5,000 times today, and then all that stuff, and then I went there, and I saw ET. That's you making a
Took
point.
a nap.
Yeah,
Right
and then I
before
took a
that, I
nap.
farted on the Dix division.
That's right. I farted on the dick I was sitting. Yes. OnlyFans, anything goes with the Kathleen Kennedy.
Please, no.
That's thanks, Robbie. You know, Robbie Hart has brought a lot of joy and also a lot of disgusting self-reflection
And a lot of pain. He's brought in a lot of pain.
Oh, here's culture. Shark Week. That's
So hold on, is culture on his period?
No.
that
Oh.
looks AI generated. And
No.
looks-
Yeah, because it does look AI generated because that's
Okay.
a weird place for the fin.
No, well,
Yeah, and the
maybe.
multiple eyes.
But I will tell you that if you do want to get up
Yes,
close and
was wise.
personal with a shark, there are freshwater aquifers near the island of Man, that near Cancun,
Go on, the island of man.
that you can actually go down and you can get face to face with these sharks because they are stoned out of their mind.
Culture goes down on sharks.
That is not right.
So here's comics not being able to say Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Jehovah.
Right,
Yeah,
for the
whatever.
island, man.
The Ark of the Covenant. I'd looked straight into it. And then the Karl Marx, Anya Marx. There.
You know,
This
we've
one. Okay.
Wow, Mark.
Can you guys hear
Mark
me?
never left the house after getting his new body. So, there
Well,
you
you
go.
didn't really have to.
Can you guys hear me? Yes or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I thought
Yeah, well, you
You're a
haven't
little
said anything
low, but
interesting.
yeah.
in a while.
You are a little low, and everyone's been
Okay,
talking over you.
I can turn myself up. Is that better?
There you go.
Oh, that's
good.
way better. We should have done that from the beginning.
Why didn't you tell me?
Thanks for being with us, Mark. We'll see you later. All right. I'm just going to show this again because that was some pretty good artwork.
Hey, I just want to say I'm Lauren Green, and I approve of this
Yes.
message.
Your loins are green, and you approve of this message.
Lauren,
oh, okay.
Good Lord.
Oh, you're
no,
gonna love this one.
This is gonna be really bad. No.
Yeah.
No. Shit.
What's sad is in Dallas we saw this in real life.
You did not.
We did. It was bad. And here's Pancake Butt. That is I guess that's Monkey Jeebus's cat. So there you go. This one really hurt me when I saw it because it's on a 2-second loop and just keeps going and going and going and going and yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. This we also saw in Dallas.
Also no. Oh, very much no.
That's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Just the face and the head.
How about no? Oh my God.
Yeah, we got to stop showing kid bodies.
Yeah, probably so.
It's kind of weird, man. Not gonna deny it. Kind of weird.
Who that is?
That's Brennan Morse, I think. You just have to tell me if you don't want me to show that stuff anymore.
No, that says it's supposed to be Corey.
Yeah.
Was that Corey? Oh,
That's
wow.
the evolution of Corey's beard is, I think, what
I see what it is. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to do this one then. And we saw that one. And
oh no.
What mole?
Oh,
this is her actually speaking.
Oh, gross.
We got no audio. But
we can't hear
the scene.
That's for fright for the best, to be fair.
Oh no. Moly, 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 moly.
Which is funny because normally she...
Waller-Bridge. Don't say Mo. Stop. I said Mo.
Stop.
Mo.
Wow.
Wow, she looked like Palpatine there.
Yep. That's why she normally covers it.
Yeah.
Well, have you noticed that she started covering it and then she stopped covering it?
Right. And then she covered it again.
Yep.
This one was pretty good.
Wow. Tom feels up culture.
Why?
This has music, so I'm not going to, of course, Disney would claim this.
The circle jerk of life.
Circle.
I was taking a drink. Oh my God.
Zebras are all the Dix Division fans down there.
Yeah.
Beholding the man flu in culture's hand.
I'm singing here, just so you know.
Yeah. The circle of jerks.
Oh, wait. Wow. I'm Sleeping Beauty. I don't know what I am. This doesn't look, I don't look comfortable.
The Undertaker.
Oh no. Culture is alive.
This WWE. This is the Undertaker. Oh, I'm gonna.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this. So great.
How did you not know, Culture?
Well, because it's very, very small.
That's what she said.
That's a nice tattoo. Oh, damn.
Well, Toxic Man Flu showing us the smallest possible window here.
What am I supposed to do?
That.
There we go.
Look at that. Wow. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I don't know. Okay.
Hey, wow. I'm the only white guy in that room. Holy cow.
Oh, that's
there's one back there. Look at that.
Right,
one taking pictures.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
And then Mark the Cyborg Gigolo.
I've seen this. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good. Looks good.
I know. Mark, you should consider that look.
Make my day.
I mean, yeah, like if I can ever find an outfit like that for a reasonable price, I will purchase it.
Well, I'll just make it for you.
Okay.
Well, with the glowing whatever that is.
That's just LEDs.
I guess that's a.
I didn't say I'd make one. I said if someone presented me
one for a decent price.
Yeah, okay. I know you're all about being presented things.
I think that's it.
Thank God.
Oh no! Wait, I got a couple others, but let me bring those up in a different way.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you really want to hurt me?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Do you really want to make me cry?
I need to figure out how to do this better one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days.
The dummy returns. Parrot had sent me this. Nothing. Okay, great.
No, I think it's
the
funny.
Book of the Dead.
Funny.
And bull sticks from Cadet dog treats.
Very nice. Yeah.
There. And preview.
Most bull sticks are 9 to 12 minutes long.
Oh, you know what? This is great because this is going to be an image you can buy. Right, Tox?
That is correct.
You're doing NFTs now?
We're putting this on coasters.
Oh, you can get this on coasters. You're gonna get it on a shirt. You're gonna get it lots of places. You can get your own cock.
You're gonna get this on underwear.
Oh, indeed. If you really want cock,
Hold on. What about culture thongs?
We're gonna give you cock. You want it someplace? I will make sure you get the cock where you want it.
Culture's Ballsack Plus. All right.
That actually would make a good T-shirt too. By the way,
that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I tuned you out, Culture.
Wow. I don't even do that.
Why are you flipping me off?
You're in the way.
You're
in the way.
And then we do a motion that it goes.
You're receiving friendly fire.
Hey, Brahma, I'm supposed to be where you are. I don't know what happened.
Brahma, duck your head, and he'll slide his finger into that other hole.
Well, we have assigned seats.
Hey, Culture. I'm the
slide it
now.
All right, slide your finger in. Put your finger in there.
Yeah.
Come on, put your finger there.
I'm going to put the adult in between you guys.
He's not an adult. Are you fucking kidding me? All right, fine.
And Nick's jacking off Culture.
Why?
Why? Indeed.
He learns things from Chris Fire.
Everyone else off. It's just it's none of your business.
Okay, wow.
What people don't realize is
you follow my human alter ego. I'm still in costume right now. Takes time and helps to get the Captain Have Fun costume off. Okay.
What?
Captain
Nick's actually using a shake weight right now.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, the other one is a cyborg. Am I right?
Dude, you know what? I have stamina.
Okay, this is weird. I had ChatGPT
LMNOP
write a song, and it actually isn't bad. It's not funny though.
Oh, okay. Well, Nick,
It's
please stop.
Weird.
Yeah, this is really unfair.
Well, I told it to write a song about Hunter Biden losing a bag of cocaine in the White House.
What?
And the weird thing is, it wrote actually kind of a really weird song. I don't know how to say it other than just playing it. I mean, you guys really want me to?
You go, girl.
It's like a full fucking song, though. It's like a few minutes long.
Shut the fuck up, play it.
All right. Let me switch over to a better sound here. So you know.
I'll turn off my camera so I can smoke weed about it.
There you go. Smoke weed about it. It is a weird.
Oh, you can't smoke weed on camera?
I think it's probably taboo on YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it just
a tad. I'm in Canada and it is federally legal here.
Secrets lie, a telling folds caught beneath the sky. Hunter Biden, a name that rings so loud, lost in chaos, his soul unavowed. Oh, in the White House where shadows dance, a bag of white powder, a risky chance. Oh, Hunter, how did it slip away?
This is actually created by ChatGPT.
Yeah, a moment of weakness, a price to pay. Oh, lost in the White House, a bag unseen, a chapter of darkness, a haunting dream. Oh, Hunter Biden, a troubled soul. Makes me feel bad for him. Caught in a storm he can't control. On the corridors where power thrives, bag of cocaine, a secret revive. The whispers echo in the hallowed halls as Hunter's heart trembles, it silently falls. Oh, in the spotlight's glare, the spiral spins, battle within the demons he contends. Oh, Hunter, can you find your way through the darkness? Seek a brighter day. Yeah, lost in the White House, a bag unseen, a chapter of darkness, a haunting dream. Hunter, a troubled soul. Yeah, he's caught in a storm he can't control. Oh, but amongst the echoes there's a chance for light. Redemption awaits, a path to a path shining bright. It's never too late to make amends, to heal the wounds, to find your friends. You know where it goes from here. Lost in the White House, a bag unseen, a chapter of darkness, a haunting dream. Hunter bided, a troubled soul, seeking redemption to make life whole. Oh, Hunter, rise above the strife, embrace the truth, find purpose in life. Through forgiveness and love, may you find your way. In the White House, there's a shadow to a brighter day. Oh, to a brighter day.
Well, not telling you can't say that was boring.
Where's my cocaine? I warned you.
Oh my god, that was fucking funny.
ChatGPT cannot write a song.
Well, it tried, but you made it sound slightly palatable.
Important.
Did it produce the chord progression and the?
Nah, I just threw a random shit in there. Just.
Oh, fair enough. So it was just.
I just want to say I'm really tired now because that. What do you call it? What's that?
Cardio.
No, the dance.
Cardio.
What is it called?
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt right now.
I wanted him to continue, but you know.
That's fine.
Well, I think we're good. We could do outros now. We'll start with Nick.
Hey.
Hi,
everybody.
Nick. Hi, Nick.
Comics. Hi,
Nick.
Go see apparently Sound of Freedom and go watch that in theaters. And I have a channel, 32 Flavors of Nickweiser. Tomorrow night's a comic shop talk. I'll have a video out this weekend, and we'll be coming back long, hard, and strong next week for Invasion USA, Chuck Norris Toxic Tuesday. Down there is my socials. This glass here is whiskey. Thank you for having me, Comics. Good night, chat. Also, guys, watch Comics' newest videos as well because they are his most viewed videos ever, and they are huge. So give our boy Comics a huge.
He's totally naked when he does them. That's how he's getting all those views. Totally naked.
Yeah,
totally.
I can feel his naked presence in the video, so that makes sense.
What the fuck?
That's right.
Tom, we have this for you. Goodrun says for $10. Ode to
little sniffy. That's right. Thank you. I couldn't come up with anything, so I was like, oh, Chat GPT. I'm like, oh my god, this thing wrote like an opus. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, I apologize for those who sat through that.
No, that was actually really good.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
not really.
I
enjoyed it. That was good.
Shut up, Tom. It was good.
The earlier song was better. The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
The Sound of Freedom song was good. Oh, you keep doing those and send them to me. We're gonna make an album.
Brahma.
I like turtles.
Yeah, fun night tonight. Thank you, Mark, for being here. Thank you to the mods. Eric K was here. Eric Maldonado was here. I don't know if Redshirt was here or not.
Redshirt was here, and so was that 70s Rock Band.
Okay. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us. Hope everybody has a great night. I will see you guys Sunday on Late Night Culture, and then back here Monday. So cheers, everybody. Have a good one.
Jason.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate getting an invite. Tomorrow here on our channel, it's Open Line Friday, live from the bunker, 1 p.m. Eastern. This is our call-in edition, so y'all can join in and share your thoughts, ask your questions, sound off. Always good to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Looking forward to the next one.
Culture. Brushing his hair.
I'm not ready yet. Not ready.
He's got not hop the bald spot.
Hey, how's it going? Yes, I'm Mark the Cyborg. I'm X-Ray Girl's husband. If you know X-Ray Girl from FNT, I'm assuming some of you watch FNT, maybe a couple, 2, 3. Anyways, so I stream pretty much every day. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, which is the MMO. I'm actually just trying to level the rogue class right now. I stream on a couch with puppies, and yeah, they're pretty cute. And I have a channel with my wife where we do relationship advice called Human Cyborg Relations. And tonight I interviewed Angela Knight for that channel. Angela White's a different person.
Angela White's a porn star, right?
No, yeah. This is Angela Knight. She's a relationship coach, and she was very lovely to talk to. I strongly recommend that. That was a slip of the tongue. And
Strangely, both women could probably help you with your relationship.
They do not look alike, but she has a lot in common with my wife. It's kind of funny. They're both Vietnamese women who worked at salons and then eventually found their way onto YouTube. But anyways, and also if you want to see the movie that I made that Culture was talking about, that's on my locals. So locals.com/MarkTheCyborg for that. But yeah, and Cyborg Mark on Twitter because @Mark the Cyborg is a different guy.
Screw that guy.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, I don't know. He might be a nice guy. He hasn't used Twitter in 14 years, so like.
We're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm an American. Screw that guy.
Fuck that. We shoot first and ask questions later here.
You got to what culture?
Oh no, he had his fucking chance.
All right, he had his chance. All right, so
I used to see him. He's like, "You motherfucker,
you motherfucker."
Monday, Sporking's going to be on, and Brandon, as part of the panel, Brandon Morris is going to be on. We're going to talk about his new show that he's got on Rumble from there, so it'll be good to talk to him. And X-Ray Girl's going to be on, I think, the 20th. Next week is Mission Impossible, I believe.
Oh,
that's when it's coming out. So
I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be, I think the movie's...
I just rewatched Fallout, and apparently, for those who are wondering, the chat talks this is important. You do need to watch the older movies because apparently there are some continuity ties that date back to the first movie.
Yeah, crap.
So there's a heads up for you guys.
I've only seen 3 out of these. I got bored with the Mission Impossible movies after 3rd.
Skip 2.
Oh no, dude! You
watch
good
1, 3, 4.
Okay.
No, the best ones are 4 through 6.
Yeah,
4 through 6. Okay, so all right, I'll give him a shot.
But
really,
there are characters from the first movie who are in Dead Reckoning. So,
Is Brie Larson in any of these films?
No.
Thank
God.
Curious.
Paula Patton is in the 4th one though, and she's a pretty lady.
Oh,
she's fine.
I think that the one that plays the Jessica Atreides in Dune,
Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca
Ferguson. I like her.
Well, that's one thing I was looking at because Haley Atwell is in that. Right,
Yeah,
and I was thinking with the Indiana Jones, it's like you have Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Meanwhile, Dead Reckoning has all these very attractive women.
Yeah.
It's great job, Disney.
My wife saw it tonight, preview screening, and somehow she missed the fact that Haley Atwell was in this. She said it was a nice surprise, but she did like it. She saw the movie tonight. She liked it. She thinks it's very good, lots of fun. So
I'm seeing it Monday.
Oh,
I think we're going to see it Tuesday or Wednesday.
Haley
Culture, aren't you going Monday?
Tuesday.
Haley Atwell did sort of.
Yeah, well, my screening is on Tuesday.
So,
go ahead.
All right, guest is trying to speak.
I was just saying, Haley Atwell kind of did play an Indiana Jones female protagonist in Captain America because there was a lot of Indiana Jones in First Avenger. I thought. No. I mean, obviously the premise was different.
Time period.
Pulpy story.
I mean, also it's like the Nazis looking for something supernatural. And,
Agent Carter.
Oh, is that Agent Carter? Okay.
Carter is actually a good show.
He's from Kansas City.
Sean Connery type character, you know, like the older guy who kind of knows his shit. And like, I mean, I don't know, like it's not one for one, but I think there's definitely some inspiration there. And Joe Johnston, I think, like he used to work with Spielberg a lot, right? So I mean, that
Joe Johnston designed Boba Fett.
He did Rocketeer as well. Yeah, he designed
Rocketeer was not a bad film.
He's the master of the jetpack.
Jennifer Connelly.
I'm gonna tell you a quick story.
Jetpacks. Joe.
This is one of my favorite stories. There was a guy who worked on all the Star Wars films, and he was burnt out by the end of it. And he went to George, and he's like, "I'm gonna quit. I'm done. I'm leaving Hollywood." And George is like, "You are such a talent. Don't you dare do that. In fact, I will pay you as an employee and pay for your schooling to go learn to be a director. And if when you're all said and done, you still don't want to be one, whatever, you don't owe me nothing." That man was Joe Johnston.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first thing he directed out of school was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, seriously?
Yep.
No way.
Wow.
I knew he directed that. I didn't realize that was his first film. That's pretty crazy. Because that film would not have been easy to direct. You're doing a lot of post-production with that. Was it stop motion in Honey I Shrunk? I haven't seen that.
Not really that so much as just a lot of
compositing.
She's got an ass stuff.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of compositing of the large ants and things like that. And would they not be? Or they stop?
More like oversized props and
She's
things
too
like
much
that.
eyeshadow.
Haley Atwell is an
makeup
absolute
on.
rocket, though. Look at her.
Yeah, she got too much mascara, eye makeup.
Yeah, whatever.
eyeliner
I
on.
can see through the makeup and and
Yeah, that just says hooker to me.
I'm okay with that.
That's scream hooker.
$5,000 hooker, but it says hooker to me.
It's like, oh no, she gave me a hooker, but I was like, oh, better not have sex with her then.
Oh yeah, she eats Oreos in my bed and gets crumbs. She's out. That's it.
I don't
know.
That's funny. All right, folks. Let me. Yeah.
Oh damn, we went 6 minutes over. Culture's gonna be all pissed off.
Yeah, he's gonna freak out about the how it's uneven or something like that. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. Yeah, it was a lot of fun as always. Catch me tomorrow on Friday Night Tights. I'll be working on my review of Sound of Freedom. That will probably be dropping 1 a.m. Saturday, because that seems to be the magic number for me is 1 a.m. Yeah, seriously, it's I don't know. Well, it's all those years of me releasing videos at 1 a.m. And I guess the algorithm is like, nah, dude, if you don't release things at 1 a.m., we're just going to punish you. So
I saved this show. So.
You did, Culture. Everything is duty.
You're my hero.
I'm on scrollers tomorrow too. I almost forgot that.
Yeah, that's right. Mark and his. Oh, wow, your little dog is out.
Oh yeah, no, she's
the angry
dog.
She's done for.
What? If you're looking for more of this, we'll be back on Monday where we do 2 shows. One called The Monday Meltdown, which is the entertainment show. And then we will go to Rumble, strictly just Rumble and Odyssey, because some people can't watch Rumble, where we'll talk politics, which is where yelling at I can't say words.
Yelling at parked
cars have moved to. There we go.
No, we're going to melt down and then we're going to do other things.
Indeed. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the Rumble rants. And do we have anything on Odyssey?
Odyssey, we got $5 from Easy.
Yeah, we got it. So we will see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. A huge thanks to all the supporters. Without you, Comix Division would probably be hoeing on a corner somewhere.
Look at all those bigots.
Go, Rumble bigot.
Reminds me, I need to update the credits.
Wait a minute. You have more bigots than I have.
Okay. What's the problem?
I used to have way more bigots.
Oh.
Hey, fall from under a rock. He's been doing really well.
Is that what we're doing?
You know what? Yeah, I
dropped a video. He dropped a video where Culture's dancing. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it.
Floral's video. So yeah, when he drops it, I got to see a preview because I'm married to somebody on the show.
What?
It was really good. Culture you and Mike Evans is in it too from XRL7.
Well, Evan, yeah, he's good.
That latest video he did with you guys in it.
No, that was
phenomenal.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have not checked out
I did with my
XLR7,
blow up sex donkey.
Blow up sex donkey. That was in Shrek 4, The Awakening.
I'm not sure what was Awakening, but okay.
Yeah.
But yes, if you have not checked out XLR7, please do so. Occasionally we do voices for
Thank you all for
Mike.
watching.
It's great.
You are amazing.
I was one of those voices.
Well, you got a member. You got a new member.
Oh, look at that.
Holy
we
crap.
have Drunken Emerald Arrow. Galaxy
Thank
Express
you,
Movie.
Drunken
Thank you.
Emerald. Let's see. We'll play that, and then we'll play a culture fart, and then
we gotta go.